says the crackdown is long overdue.
We have definitely seen a significant increase in the amount of inappropriate and downright illegal activity with regards to the CFMEU and how they interact with civil contractors, right down to even freedom of association. It's just blatant disregard for the law.
The suspension is until further notice. Well, Australia's unemployment rate inched higher in June to 4.1%. Here in South Australia, it fell 0.1% to 3.9%. It's the equal third lowest rate in the nation, along with New South Wales and Queensland. The ACT has the lowest jobless rate at 3% and the Northern Territory the highest at 4.6%. It was a family affair on day 3 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Donald Trump Jr. and his daughter both spoke. 17-year-old Kai talked about her grandpa and what he means to her.
To me, he's just a normal grandpa. He gives us candy and soda when our parents aren't looking. He always wants to know how we're doing in school. He always encourages me to push myself to be the most successful person I can be. Obviously, he sets the bar pretty high, but who knows, maybe one day I'll catch him.
JD Vance also addressed the convention and formally accepted the nomination as the Republican vice presidential candidate. The final day of the convention will see Donald Trump take to the stage. Wife Melania and daughter Ivanka will be in the audience. Mental health groups believe it's up to social media giants to make their platforms safer rather than relying on age limits. The Black Dog Institute, Reach Out and Beyond Blue have released a set of recommendations amid a parliamentary probe into platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Reach Out Director of Service Jackie Hallam says a proposal to ban those under 16 from apps won't work.
This will likely push their behaviour underground, and meaning that when things go wrong, they're less likely to get support from their parents and carers, leading to unintended harms. Secondly, it takes the pressure off social media companies to make their platforms safer.
And several Aussies have featured in today's Emmy nominations. Naomi Watts is up for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology series for her role as Babe Paley in Feud, Capote vs the Swans, while Elizabeth Debicki is in the running for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama series for playing Princess Diana in The Crown. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
From the crew at the Mosaic Hotel and ex-Golf Westlakes, come for a swing, stay for a meal.
The AFL Appeals Board is hearing the Toby Bedford and Charlie Cameron challenges this afternoon. Meantime, it is selection night in the AFL. The Crows play the Bombers at Marvel Stadium tomorrow night, while Port are at home to the Tigers on Saturday night. The start date for the A-League men's season has been announced. It will kick off on the weekend of October 18 to 20. And Tadej Pogačar still holds the overall lead at the Tour de France, heading into stage 18. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new Steakhouse Stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
Afternoon at Flagstaff Hill, a crash to look out for. Black Road near Reservoir Drive. No longer down, it's a breakdown there. Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exit. And a couple of worse remains. One at Clarence Park, Goodwood Road near Francis Street, and another at Clovelly Park, South Road near Celtic Avenue. Got a camera 2 today, Fisher Street in Melbourne. The Harvey Norman Furniture and Bedding run-out clearance is on now. Race in for up to 50% of lounges, dining, bedding, outdoor and more. The Harvey Norman run-out is on now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyomaterialhandling.com.au.
Cloudy this afternoon, showers becoming windy tomorrow 15, the weekend, Saturday showers, winds easing 15 and Sunday 16. Right now it's 12 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, the hateful racist rant caught on camera at an Adelaide hotel. A disturbing city robbery, 3 boys and a taser. Calls for free vaccinations for SA's younger children amid an RSV wave that's seen so many hospitalised. An urgent IKEA product recall and the foods pregnant women should eat to give their children healthy hearts. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
It's a beauty! It's 4:06. Good afternoon. It's Selection Thursday and we're coming to you live tonight
from the Athelston Footy Club. Great setup here. A couple of years old, the new setup here. It's quite a fantastic little setup. Rowy's still on the bench for this one. He's on the mend, hopefully back tomorrow. As I say, good afternoon to Timmy G and Scotty Campo.
Yeah, look, you're right, Sam. It is selection night, Thursday night. I've had my own selection meeting out S Row in S Campo.
Where am I playing? Am I not the sub, am I?
You're not sub.
I am.
No,
you got a game yesterday.
I got a game yesterday. Right.
See, I don't believe...
I played a good quarter yesterday.
Yep. You did? And I don't believe in debuting somebody and only giving them 1 week.
So Rowy's out for 3 weeks.
Well,
is that?
Now he is.
General soreness of the throat.
Bit of GS. If you are watching on the Foodland live stream, you can see the trophy cabinet behind us here, which is absolutely jam-packed with trophies here. But what a setup. I came out probably about 3-4 years ago to watch an amateur final. And it was the old traditional footy club and the like. And now, what a setup it is.
It's amazing. Like, even the condition of the oval. Normally, up this way, you get a bit of rain.
A lot of rain. We've had a lot of rain.
And there's clay soil, and then it just goes to buggery.
Yeah.
But what an amazing setup. This is brilliant.
Done a great job. And, of course, the Adelaide Football League just coming into the pointy end of the season too. I think maybe 4 weeks to go, and a lot of crucial games, including Athelston's. And I know we'll speak to the Prez later on, Steve Young, but they've got to take on your old mob, Flinders Park.
Mighty Flinders Park.
Be a cracking game. Yeah. So look forward to that.
That won't be an easy one, Tim.
Hey, mate, welcome again. Of course, overnight, and we will get onto that incredible State of Origin game that was last night. How brutal is that game?
I love it.
It is incredible, and we will talk about it because it does sort of touch on what we've just seen in the Tribunal. Now, they're going to go again. So the Lions and Giants are hitting the Tribunal again. They're going to try and get that charge at least taken down from 3 games. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we'll just have a listen to a bit of the tackling and Tribunal commentary, because everybody's had their little piece on it. Now, there's a current player, DeGoey, has a chat. He's on Channel 7. Fagan has a word about it. Of course, Charlie in the gun there. On Fox, Revolt had a comment about it. And Richo, I think, made probably the best point on 3RW. So have a listen to this montage.
Obviously, we want to protect the head. That's number one. But I think in some of these instances, you can't really avoid that. And if you do let the arms free, they're going to handball the ball.
You can see by the reaction over the last 48, 72 hours that there's a lot of confusion within playing ranks and within coaching ranks. Coaches, we don't know how to coach necessarily the tackling now, and players not being sure whether if they do something and it ends up in a concussion, that they're going to then be in trouble.
I'm confused. I think we all are. And for me, fundamentally, the fact that we're going to the appeals board for the 3rd time in 7 days says that the tackle isn't sitting well with the football community. Certainly the player fraternity at the moment is a bit confused, or definitely confused. Training them up to their strongest, to their fastest, getting them on and off the ground more than ever so they can come back on and run with a higher velocity. We then expect them in a split millisecond as they're tackling to decide that they've got to let go of an arm. I've got to drop my knees. I can't have his head hitting the ground at all. How do we expect them to do that? It's impossible.
So there's a great cross-section, isn't there, of coaches, players straight out of the game. Richo's been out for a while, but of course DeGoey still playing the game. It really did just probably tell us that it is confusing.
Well, absolutely. It would be fair to say over the since the weekend, I haven't heard anyone come out and say an alternative view to any of those. Would that be fair across whether it be paper, radio, or TV? What does that must say something to the AFL in terms of, and even people that stop you at the cafe and having those conversations? Everyone's confused now. If the powers that be, so Chris Fagan is sitting there going, I don't know how to coach it. Now he's an experienced coach in the AFL. He's not a newbie. He knows and been around the traps a long time. And I agree with Richo. That's absolutely what happens at Clubland. So it's about, can we play at a high level, high speed game, which the AFL want. Don't forget too, they want the game played at high speed and high scoring. And now all of a sudden there's these grey areas that are coming in. It's staggering really. And I'll ask you this question, Tim. Let's say Charlie and Tony Bedford get downgraded to 2 weeks. Does that make any difference? Now, it does for them, but in terms of the situation and the current place that we're in at the moment, does it supply any more clarity as to what the end result is? Because we're going to go into the game again tomorrow night, and the Crows and and Essendon are the first team that are going to come up against it.
Yeah.
Is there going to be hesitation in the players? That's what I'm, and we hear Matthew Nicks, for argument's sake, he's about pressure.
Yeah.
He's about contest. Now, if you're delivering those two key KPIs that represent them as a club, as a DNA, does he have to change that philosophy now? Do the players now second guess as to, geez, and they go subconsciously go a little bit backwards and go, actually, I don't want to cop 3 weeks here, so I'm just going to hesitate a little bit. Now, you do that against Zach Merritt. Zach Merritt's going to punish you with the ball.
Well, it's 75% through the season, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you can adjust anything. But also, for players, I think where that tribunal is, and you're right, they might reduce it by 1 game or 2 games or none. But the point of the matter is, how can they avoid that again? How can they be different again? And that's the issue. I think now they're almost saying, if you can cuss somebody, you will be out for 1. If it's a football action and it wasn't deliberate or silly, we'll just give you the 1 because that person's got concussion. I think that's where they want to go with it. And I'm
so
at
just
the
go
moment,
there though, Tim.
But just when you go there though, everybody's going to keep saying, well, what can we do? We can't. If we can't tackle like that, what can we do?
Yeah, I understand it, but I guess I'm backing you up. Just go to the 1 week. If that's what we're going to do,
let's
not
do
do it, because tell me that's great preparation for Charlie and Tony Bedford in terms of, and we're talking about their livelihood here, don't forget.
Yeah.
So we've got to understand the situation as well. And no one ever is talking about, trying to mitigate against, concussion and all that.
Correct.
Like, we're absolutely all on the same page with that, and we get that. But all we want is clarity. And they're not providing... And as I said, even tonight, if it goes to 2 games, I'd be really interested to see what the AFL come out and say on the back of that as to why, and then we'll be able to make a bit better decision as to which way it's going to go.
Liam Duggan, co-captain at West Coast on Perth Radio, he said Charlie Cameron actually contacted him.
And Charlie actually texted me after the game and apologised. And I was able to see him after the game on the ground as well. But I do think it's quite harsh, that penalty for the tackle and Toby's as well.
Go to Nicks. Yeah, so there you go. I think that's a nice gesture. Make contact and all the rest of it.
When you and I used to go to the tribunal,
No,
bit of a wink and a nod and go, "No, you're right, mate. That didn't. I didn't feel a thing."
So Charlie Cameron is currently facing the appeals board as we speak. We'll get some updates throughout the show.
Beautiful.
Fantastic stuff. Selection night, and of course, Matty Nicks. We were all a bit surprised when we heard Riley Thilthorpe was going to be the sub, and they played the 4 tools in wet conditions. He got away with it. He thinks he can do it again.
We believe we can play with 4 tools, and there's different things we do with rotations. If we were going to do that, it'd be a week where we knew the conditions coming in, because we probably don't want to go 4 tools in our starting 22 if the weather's wet.
There you go. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, and I've said this with Rowie because he's got a bit upset about.
It's got a bugbear.
Well, it can only work. Well, clearly you're going to have 1 on the interchange bench, right?
Yes.
And then the other 3 are going to be playing, because
Yes.
that's ultimately you're not going to carry 2 tools on the interchange bench. So the thinking is, and the challenge will be, are they prepared to risk Riley Thilthorpe in the ruck? Would be my first question if you're going to play him. Second of all is, they're playing under the roof at Etihad, so they're at Marvel, my apologies. So you're sitting there going, are they trying to expose Essendon and say, well, we're going to try and, because it's a bit drier, last week was a bit more of a risk, but can we expose Essendon? So that's on the flip side. The third thing is, and I'm not necessarily one that cares about how many, it's what happens when the ball hits the ground.
Yeah.
So you've got to, if you're going to be prepared to play those tools, then you've got to be prepared to go, they need to be manic with their pressure when the ball hits the ground to make sure it doesn't come zinging out. Now, Essendon, under the roof, an uncontested team that pride themselves on kick mark all the way down the ground. If they win a loose ball in there, they're gone.
Yeah.
So,
look, they've not got a great record against the Bombers either. Lost the last 7, I think you told me. That's incredible. But
2018.
Matty Nicks reckons they can learn from history.
We look at a lot of the games where we've played against teams in the past. We always go back, even if it's 12 months, and we look at what we did well and what we didn't do well, areas we've got to be better at. And the last couple of games v Essendon, we got a few things wrong especially last season at Marvel. So we're comparing that and doing a lot this week on that game because they really did. They put us to the sword last time early.
There you go. So we'll see if they get it right this time. So what do they say? Eighth time lucky. Miles Bergman, he was put into the media spotlight because young Farrell, of course, has got a hamstring injury, will be out. That's a big blow for him. But Miles Bergman playing some pretty good football wherever he's selected. So he actually talks about selection, and the spots are up for grabs.
There's 5 or 6 names that probably consistent AFL players, along with plenty of others that have been playing really well the last few weeks. So there's definitely a big competition for spots at the moment.
Vital game. I mean, no playing Richmond who are bottom, you wouldn't want to drop that. That's got to be a must-win.
Oh no! I mean, and the thing is, they potentially go up to 6 or 7. There's some teams that are playing above them that are sort of playing each other, or that are in 50-50 game. I mean, There's no easy games now, but
you've got to win it.
They got to bank this one, and to be honest, if I was a Port supporter, I didn't really care what it looks like. Just get the bank the 4 points.
Get it done. State of Origin last night. Now the Blues got up, and it was a brutal game, and the second half was just
How do you reckon they're feeling this morning?
Well, I was thinking
either hungover or sore.
I think it was like over 50+ tackles. They smashed into one another like no tomorrow. I was thinking about corkies. How many corkies came out of that game? Let alone the split lips and heads were going everywhere. Yeah. It was quite amazing, but it was an incredible finish. Just have a listen here.
The siren sounds, the Shield's heading back to Sydney. They've come to the cauldron in front of over 50,000 and beat Queensland in a decider. But this New South Wales group has conquered what many believe was almost impossible.
Now, that's the first. I think they've only won 2 out of 13 deciders up there, right? So this now makes it 3. So well done to them there. But the game itself, just when I was thinking about, we were talking about the Charlie Cameron, Toby Bedford incidents. And then looking at that game, I thought, are we in the same country? Are we on the same planet?
Well, there would have been 2 blokes on each side. If it had been an AFL game, that would have just been 2 blokes in an open field passing to each other and just marching down the ground. It would have been hilarious.
It was
it's brutal.
Unreal, wasn't it?
It's a brutal game.
And the Tribunal would have been very busy.
Well, we spoke about after off air. What I love about the commentary, I just find phenomenal. I mean, we're so. And understandably so, around the sterile and the making sure our players are right. Like the Ben Hunt one, like he was absolutely not cold. Yeah. Gets up, the trainer's strapping his head up after a huge gash, and then he got sent off for a HIA thing, and then all of a sudden he's back on again.
Straight out there. Unbelievable. It was like something I've seen in the 80s. Unreal. So great stuff. Hey, 50 years of City to Bay, and I know we're going to have Ryan Fitzgerald on because there's a documentary coming out about it, which is incredible. 1974 it started, so I think anybody that was involved in that will give us a buzz and tell us your City Bay stories, because there's got to be plenty of those. And if you've got any opinions on the State of Origin compared to the Tribunal tonight, 8223 0000.
Yeah, certainly get involved. Lots of time for your calls tonight. Mark Robinson's going to join us at 5 o'clock. David Teague from Richmond. We've got an Olympic preview with Stephanie Rice. Fitzy on the show. We've got Hannah Petty, the captain of the Thunderbirds. Their finals begin this weekend, so a big campaign for them. And of course, the all-important Crows and Port Adelaide team selections, they'll drop at 5:50 tonight. 8223 0000. Get involved with the show. Port Locker Room tickets not far away either. We'll get your calls on the air next.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. Each week on the 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy invite some of their pals from the world of sport onto the show for a chat. Thanks to Pals, Parafield Airport Liquor, home of the hardest to find wines, beers and spirits. Life's better with your pals.
Thinking of painting and don't know where to start?
We do, because we know paint at Crowies.
So, visit Crowies. And while you're there, join Crowies Club to get 10% off everything.
We know paint at Crowies.
Hi, Brady Bitt here from Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. I like that they're giving away 12 months of rego and stamp duty on all new cars. Not some, not just the red ones, all new Mazdas. With an offer like free rego and stamp duty, Mawson Lakes Mazda can't do it for long. It's got to end July 31st. Mawson Lakes Mazda, free rego and stamp duty on all new Mazdas. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Foodland stores are local, independently owned supermarkets. With over 90 stores across South Australia, they are needed, the mighty South Aussies. They're passionate about providing great food and all your favourite brands, along with some of the best supermarket experiences in the world.
Yeah, look, Foodland are passionate about providing their customers with fresh local produce and a full range of groceries and personalised service. Now they have competitive prices and great value lives at Foodland. Always does. So don't forget, check your letterbox as well. You get the weekly catalogue coming there, but also you can sign up and get it online. It goes straight to your inbox. How easy?
Very easy. When fresh really counts, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Yeah.
Warm up this winter with an unforgettable adventure at Discovery Parks. Save 25% on all cabins and sites across South Australia. From cozying up in a cabin to exploring world-famous wine regions and rugged coastlines. Discovery Parks are your gateway to South Australia. Now's the time to discover winter our way. Book now and save 25% at discoveryparks.com.au. T's and C's apply.
This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding with Tales from the Bedroom. We've been making quality mattresses here at Supercraft Bedding for a long time. They're better than good. They're flippin' good. That's to say, our double-sided mattresses last twice as long as single-sided ones. And as for all those mattress makers that say you only need to do one side, well, that's fine, but don't charge full price for half a mattress. Supercraft Bedding, building better beds. 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
Everyone deserves a place to call home, which is why the state government has developed the Housing Roadmap to provide more homes for South Australians. Learn more at housingroadmap.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Training them up to their strongest, to their fastest, getting them on and off the ground more than ever so they can come back on and run with a higher velocity. We then expect them in a split millisecond as they're tackling to decide that they've got to let go of an arm. I've got to drop my knees. I can't have his head hitting the ground at all. How do we expect them to do that? It's impossible.
Matthew Richardson there on 3AW last night. Charlie Cameron currently facing the appeals board as he fights his 3-match ban, and Toby Bedford will face his charge very shortly as well. So we'll give you updates throughout the show, and Robbo will join us at 5 o'clock. We're taking your calls on it though, 8223 0000. We are live at the Athelston Footy Club this afternoon. First though, let's check your traffic for Rossdale Homes, the custom home, 2-story and split-level specialists.
G'day there at Crayford's, debris on the road, freeway up track near the Stirling ramp, crash at Flagstaff Hill, Black Road near Reservoir Drive with some delays, and Wollonga Downs a breakdown there, Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exit. Best Waterman at Goodwood Road to look out for, it's at Clarence Park just near Francis Street with a camera of the Savo, Harvey Avenue in Nedley. Experience the entire Mini range at Glenelg Mini Garage, Adelaide's independent family-owned Mini dealership. Experience excellence at Glenelg Mini Garage. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Doesn't have the...
Let's go to the phones. We got Nick at Grange. G'day, Nick.
Good afternoon, boys. In relation to the tackling, I actually think the surfaces or the grounds are a lot harder than what they used to be. And I reckon that probably plays a part as well. Because I know when you played, I mean, I used to watch, I've been watching footy, since I was 10, 40 odd years. And I remember the grounds, I grew up in Victoria, I used to go down to Waverley, and it'd rain there all the time, and the surface would be soft and slippery, and you'd have cricket pitches on the other, other grounds that would become mud bars, in the centre of the ground. And I guess in the infinite wisdom, the AFL wanting the grounds to look super, I reckon they might be too hard.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
It's true. I remember when Marvel first happened, we would always pull up sore after that because there was, the car park's underneath. So essentially that's a concrete slab, and then they build it up over time. And then, we played in the time, when they used to spray paint it so it looked good because the ground, they couldn't get it to grow because of the orientation of the ground. It was shade. So then they got those big wheelie, the warmers out, and, now they grow the heat lamps. So now it is, but it's still quite hard. And even Adelaide Oval is quite firm as well. But it is about aesthetics.
It's aesthetics, and then unfortunately that then brings about the harder ground. As we can see, there's a nice oval out there, but I bet you put your foot on it, it's nice and spongy here at Atherstone.
I remember at Princess Park when I first started, before they redid the ground there, that wing where the old scoreboard used to be, the mud would come up to the side of your ankles in the boot. So you were never going to get knocked. You could have just fell asleep on the ground there without, if you wanted to.
Let's go to Gawler. G'day, Matt.
How you going, guys?
Good, buddy. Good, mate.
So the penalty is obviously quite severe. 3 weeks is a long time for someone to be out for football. And I mean, you're talking mid-season. What happens if this happens first week of the finals? So my idea of it is, let's try to lessen the penalty a little bit, but still be seen to be doing stuff with the head contact. Why not give them 12 months to choose when they take the penalty, if that makes any sense? Because if you knock someone out first week of the finals and you miss a grand final from it, that's a bit different than knocking someone out round 1 of the season.
A suspended sentence, Matt. It's an interesting one. Damien has texted in on the Unique Homestyle Food text and said, look, football is a contact sport. Accidents and injuries, unfortunately, do happen. Suspension should only be for illegal acts on the football field.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now,
I think that's a great text.
That's a very good text, a
and
very good way of describing it.
Yeah, and it goes back to Jimmy Bartell's, his thing. Is it a footy act or is it outside the rules?
So therefore, accidents will happen. And we've got to accept that in a contact sport, as we saw in the State of Origin last night.
We're going to keep going back there, aren't we?
What about that split lip?
Oh,
that was horrendous.
Well, interesting text just on the back of that, because the Charlie Cameron's facing the appeals board as we speak. They're deliberating right now. But the argument from Brisbane was that we say this tackle, the approach to the tackle, and the actual tackle itself was a lawful tackle.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great starting point when you're talking about this was all legal.
Correct. And ultimately, and we spoke about it off air, is the previous evidence is not relevant in this now because it's a new hearing. Right? So that's a great point. And one that I'm not sure how you can argue against that. Because he hasn't gone high. Right? He hasn't, it's not...
Two actions?
Not 2 actions, absolutely.
No slinging.
And so you're sitting there going, well, that's a valid point. So I'll be interested to see what the answer to that is.
The rest of the argument is the incorrect emphasis was placed on Cameron's actions and not enough on Duggan's actions as well, interlocking the legs, making them lose their balance, etc. And there's no evidence to support the finding of Charlie Cameron had any other reasonable alternatives. The sitting down of Duggan and the other letting go of the arm, they were fanciful, is what Brisbane's arguers was saying. So it's interesting right now. It's going to be a fascinating result coming up in probably the next hour.
The Duggan one for me is more that he tried to fend off
Charlie.
Yeah. So that's not the leg is a secondary thing because that was on the way down. But the fact that he physically tried to move and try and shake Charlie to miss, that would instinctively for Charlie, he's grabbed him firmer to make sure that he doesn't let him go.
Yeah.
True.
So ultimately, that's what it is. So and Duggan has made it worse, essentially, on the basis that if he had just played dead and gone to the ground, Charlie might have been able to lay him on the ground nicely.
Beautiful little
just lay it out.
display.
There's
a cheese platter.
4:30 headlines are coming up. We'll take more of your calls shortly. 8223 0000.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Insurance is the biggest con in Australia right now. Dead set, do not get me started. Dealing with my car smashed up by a bloody trailer the other day. Tooth incident, neither of them my fault. Premiums up, already off increased level. It's just absurd. It's a form of gambling insurance. I'm starting to think maybe I've been approaching it the wrong way.
David Penberthy rejoins Will Goodings for 5AA Breakfast this Monday on Adelaide's 5AA.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Major crash are investigating a head-on between a car and a truck near Narracourt that's left 2 people fighting for their lives. Mental health groups believe it's up to social media giants to make their platforms safer rather than relying on age limits. Day 3 of the Republican National Convention saw Donald Trump's running mate take the stage. And in sport, injuries will force Port Adelaide to make several changes for Saturday night's clash against the Tigers. The team will be released next hour. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
G'day there, got some debris on the road at Crayfus on the freeway up track near the Stirling ramp. Breakdown at Noarlunga Downs causing really big delays. Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exit. Burst Waterman at Clarence Park. Goodwood Road near Francis Street. Speeds at 40 with the camera Dawes Road at Melrose Park. It's happy days every Friday at IKEA. Head in store to get 50% off main dishes for IKEA family members. 11 a.m. till close every Friday at IKEA. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloudy tonight down to 8, rain becoming windy tomorrow 14. Right now it's 12 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. For the very first time, Edwardstown Mazda is offering discounts greater than 10% on all Mazda demonstrator models. Every demo, every model with a minimum discount of 10%. Plus a minimum trade-in of $2,000 on your old vehicle. This offer is exclusive to Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
The word home means a place where one lives permanently as a member of a family or household. But home is more than that, especially when it's a home you help plan and design. A home containing those little touches you ask for, built by tradespeople who settle for nothing less than the best, because they know this is a home you'll love for decades to come. So which SA builder will build the home you want? Rendition Homes. That's who. renditionhomes.com.au.
Warm up this winter with a few cold Coopers, Tim, thanks to Sip and Save.
I don't mind if I do, thank you. Purchasing any participating Coopers 24 pack at Sip and Save and you'll get a token. Now collect 3 tokens to redeem a Coopers rugby jumper in store. Now you need that in this weather. It's rugby weather with 6 different colours to choose from.
How easy is that? And get this right now. Coopers Parlale or Pacific Parlale 24 packs are just $57.99 each at Sip and Save.
Sip and Save got one near you because there's the stores everywhere. Yep. I'll just go to the Alberton. You can always expect more from Sip and Save. More deals, more range, more service.
Sip and Save. There's more in store. Only available while stocks last. Term and conditions apply. Please drink responsibly. For all details, visit zipandsave.com.au.
Respiratory syncytial virus, known as RSV, is a contagious virus and the cause of respiratory disease among the elderly. Vaccines to fight the disease have been approved overseas, but Adelaide's Fusion Clinical Research is holding a trial to find a remedy for Australia. If you're over 60 and want to take part, contact Fusion on 7077 6996 or go to fusiontrials.com.au. You will be reimbursed for your time.
Time is running out to buy $2 tickets in the People First Community Lottery and help your local community. Ticket sales close July 25, so act now for a chance to win. Go to communitylottery.com.au. T's and C's apply. SA Lottery Licence number M14521.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 26 minutes to 5. Robbo's going to join us after 5. Fitzy going to join us shortly, and we'll keep taking your calls as well. Stephanie Rice in a moment from Stan Sport. We're going to talk Olympic Games. It's only about 8 days away. Fitzy, though, very shortly. Interested to get your calls today. We might do some in the next half hour. It's 50 years of the City Bay here in Adelaide. An amazing city event that's been put on for such a long time, since 74.
Yeah, a fun run.
It is a fun run.
Never knew those two words went together.
But we love your memories of it across the years, because I've done about 5. Timmy, you've done a handful as well.
Well, yeah, the first one I ever did, I was only about 15, I reckon. And I've told this before, where Bruce McAvaney was our school footy coach, and he loved running, and he encouraged us all to start running. And so we did the City to Bay, and I enjoyed it then because I was young. Off you go, do whatever you like. But then I did it later on in life with the Little Heroes Foundation, and I trained for ages to get ready for it. Did 3 calves on the way in. 2 weeks out I did one. I thought I can't do any more, so then I've taken off. I'm doing the run, 9.5k out. I think I'm going to make it.
You blew it.
Blew it again. The last 2Ks limped in on the line with a popped calf. It was a disaster. I had to run into town and call footy. So it was a disaster. But it's a great event. It's we have like 50,000 participants that run in it. And I reckon when I was with Little Heroes, we organised the Woodside Army Barracks and got the whole crew they put their full kit on, 20-kilo packs, and they ran the city to bay. It's just amazing. So great story.
Your memories.
Absolutely. Let's go to Valerie. G'day, Valerie. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'd like to paint a little scenario to you.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got a guy racing down the field, bouncing the ball, heading towards goal. You have another.
That's Campo.
You have another guy chasing him. He's running his heart out, doing everything a coach would absolutely want someone to do to try and prevent that guy from getting that ball to the goal. So he catches him. He catches him. And he reaches out and gets him on by the back of the jumper. And this is in full motion. Both of them still going in full motion. The guy's got the ball and bouncing it. And they both fall forward, okay? And the guy in front, the guy behind does his best to hold the guy back because he's heading for the ground and because of his safety. But the guy's head hits the ground. What do? You penalise. Is that guy that did the chase, does the coach say, I never want to see you do that chase again? Why didn't you just let the guy go and kick goal?
Yeah, and that's happened. We've seen some of those things over the journey, in pivotal games. My gut feel on this, and I've had this discussion with one of my boys. They're playing for, and one of them got a reprimand earlier in the year for a sling tackle. Right? And I said to him, you can't do it. And ultimately, so he's there going, well, what do I do? Because I'm Adam. Like, you got to tackle. Like, that's it's an important part of the game. But what I said to him is, it's almost like part of doing business now in AFL, that if you're going to play on the edge, you're going to end up like maybe copping a game here or there. And I would rather that happen than hesitate and look silly on a ground. And it's just part of doing business now. And ultimately, you're not, as long as you don't do it deliberately and you're trying to hurt someone. But if it's in that, and unfortunately the powers that be go, well, that's a week or that's 2 weeks. Unfortunately, that's just what it is.
All righty, I'll tell you what, keep those calls coming in. But, Campo, you may have heard there's this event coming up in Paris. It's quite large. It's called the Olympics, and we've got swimming is first cab off the rank. The swimmers go in, they just crack in it. We love it because
we dominate.
Well, it's the Aussie crawl, isn't it? And one of our best ever, Stephanie Rice, joins us right now for Stan Sport. G'day, Steph.
Hey guys, how you going?
Excellent. Now, we are getting, and we're building up every week. We're interviewing athletes, past athletes, you name it, getting this build-up happening. You're with the Stan Sport team. Now, who will be joining you?
Oh, there's an epic lineup on Stan Sport, so it's going to be really great insights from a lot of really top talented athletes. I love that they've done that. So, like Ash Barty and Grant Hackett and myself, we've got football, hockey. Like, it's a great lineup of top athletes that are retired, so I feel like can give the expert insights, understand what it's like at that top level, like from a mindset perspective as well as a technique and skill perspective. So I think it's going to be really great.
What are our chances? I mean, the women look quite strong, and of course with all of our champions there, and it looks like the men might have a tougher challenge against it. What's it looking like from your point of view?
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. I think the women's team is really strong, especially at that international level. So, we've got the likes of a couple of experienced athletes like Ariane Titmus and Emma McKeon, Kaylee McEwen coming back again, but then there's like a couple of newcomers on the Olympic level at that like prime time, like say somebody like Molly O'Callaghan that has been a big international comps and stuff before and done incredibly well, world record holder. But I feel like the battles between the women is definitely going to be, in my opinion, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more juicy. But the men are still incredibly strong, so I don't feel like it's just a women's team. But I think personally, I'm more excited to watch some of those women's battles, like, for example, 200 freestyle with Ariane Titmus and Molly O'Callaghan, like two Aussies that are have shared the world record, and then they're going to go head-to-head with the best in the world. Like, it's going to be awesome.
And we're probably a bit biased, Steph, because we like Kyle Chalmers, don't we?
Yes.
One of our own, so
Yeah.
we're pretty biased in that respect. But what's the build-up been like, Steph? I mean, this is, 3 years ago, COVID. Does it feel like it's back to its normal level of excitement?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I mean, I think that the last Olympics in Tokyo was just a shambles through, the fact it got moved with COVID and the athletes having to, prepare and then stop and re-prepare. It just felt like it was, it didn't have the hype that it usually does. So I think that this Olympics is going to have a little bit of redemption kind of feeling towards it from the athlete side of it. But I love that as a community and as Aussies, we can all get around it again. So I'm really looking forward to that experience of being bigger and louder and more intense than it was 4 years ago. Well, 3 years
Steph,
ago.
I mean, you obviously...
Yes, exactly.
You obviously got into the media side of it. Do you have any aspirations in mentoring any of the young swimmers up and coming, or do you do some of that?
And to be honest, not really. I feel like my time in doing that feels it's past now. I would have loved to have been a lot more involved in the sport, which I really tried to do when I finished swimming, but unfortunately it just wasn't really something that they invested in. But I think I've really tried to have that with personal relationships. So, I know Ariane really well. I know Emma McKeon really well. I'm still really close with my coach, Michael Ball. So he coaches a lot of those top girls, in particular, Kelly McEwen. So I've kind of done it more from a personal perspective than I have kind of from an Australian swimming level. And it's been great to share that at that top level. So, for example, 3 years ago at the Olympics, Ariane did so well. And I was messaging her kind of during the games, how are you feeling? Because what people don't understand is the emotional toll that it takes from you. Because all you see on TV is sort of the semi-final or the final, the medal ceremony. You don't see the chaos of the warm-ups, the swim downs, the prep, the drug testing, the media conferences, the trying to rest and trying to get back up. And that roller coaster that you ride is incredibly exhausting. And as prepared as she was physically, the emotional part of it, it was new to her. And I think that's why I say coming back this Olympics, she knows what that part of it is going to look and feel like. So you can kind of moderate your emotions based on what you know is going to get the best out of you from a performance side. And I think that's the difference between a mature athlete and an up-and-coming swimmer that just rides the waves, and then you kind of oh gosh, it's taken a lot out of me, I need to reset, and you don't know how to reset. So I think, I've tried to play a role in mentoring in that capacity, more from a lived experience.
Hey, Steph, one point on that. I do remember it might have been 2012. We had a lot of trouble with the athletes with social media exposure. Are there rules around that now? Because, that seemed to really unnerve a few.
And I think at the time, social media was a baby, right? I think Twitter was born in 2010 or 2009. And so, people didn't know that social media was this platform that had media reach and that obviously media outlets were looking at what was posted and shared. And so I think it's important to consider that when you look at, say, 2012. It wasn't like people thought they were doing media interviews when they were posting on Instagram and didn't understand the weight that it carried. So I do think now there is obviously a lot more conversation and awareness and responsibility placed on the athletes. And I think there are foundations that are in place in terms of, hey, this is what's advised. But at the end of the day, it's your own platform. It's like replying to text messages. If it's going to take from you, why don't you just wait until you've got more time to give? And I think that the athletes have done their own job and had their own experience in managing and handling that now. But it's a tough one because you're balancing media responsibilities, your performance, the sponsors that need, and want that promotion at those prime times. I think it's something that has been worked on.
Okay, a lot more mature results now, I think. What about Cameron McAvoy, first Aussie male to do 4 Olympics in swimming, and Bronte and Kate Campbell, I think Bronte's doing her 4th, Kate did 4. What sort of mental strength does it take to appear at 4 Olympics? That's phenomenal.
I know. I did 2 and I was like, that's enough. It's a different beast. And I do think, when athletes have more longevity, it is because they're sprinters. I just don't think physically you could keep up the workload if you were a 200, 400 metre athlete. If you are like a gifted athlete at over a 50 and 100 metre, I think you can, for me, it's more like being able to balance life with training because you are doing it for such a long time. I mean, 4 Olympic cycles is getting close to like a 20-year career, which is insane. For the athletes that have been able to do that, I just all praise to them, like to keep at it, but more so to be able to do it at a high standard for such a long period of time. And I think you benefit at the start from the naivety and the excitement and everything's new and fun. And then as you get older, it's like you're benefiting from your maturity. Like, I know how to handle this. I've done this before. I know what it takes. And so, I think incredible achievement to go to so many. I think it does take a definite amount of willpower and strength to be able to do that.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in Paris with your 3 golds, 3 world records in Beijing. I'd be pretty happy with that anyway. So well done, mate, and we look forward to seeing you in Paris and our swim team doing really well.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, guys.
Stephanie Rice, our guest. Experience the Olympic Games like never before on Stan Sport, the only place to watch every event ad-free, live and on demand with 4K. Brought us the champion, Stephanie Rice.
We're going to talk all things City Bay very shortly, but those who are driving south toward Victor Harbour, just a quick traffic update. For the last 2 hours, Victor Harbour Road has been closed between Goolwa Road and Highmarsh Tiers Road, just because there's been a serious crash between multiple cars, so emergency services have been there. So just be careful if you're going down south toward Victor. You may have some traffic conditions to deal with, so just avoid the area if you can. It is 12 minutes to 5. Let's check your traffic.
G'day there, at Crayford's debris on the road, the freeway up track near the Stirling ramp causing delays. A breakdown slowing things up to it no longer Downs, Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exits, and a burst water main at Cloverleigh Park. South Road near Celtic Avenue speeds at 40. Slow going Brighton Road, Brighton, busy. South Road at Edwardstown with the camera Winstead Avenue at Clarence Gardens. Dreaming of an outdoor space that'll really impress judges? Outdoor kitchens from Australian Outdoor Living are premium quality, custom designed and installed in just 4 weeks. That'll be hard to beat. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Are you eagerly awaiting a relocation sale to stock up on 4-wheel drive and camping gear? Great news! TJM Clovelly Park have just opened their doors at their new address, 115 Sheriffs Road, Ranella. They're still clearing out heaps of ex-display stock and everything must go. Get in quick and give the crew at TJM Nailsworth a call to find out what's up for grabs at both locations during their relocation sale on now.
She's been by your side from the beginning. You've raised a family together, supported one another's dreams, and when things got tough, you got through it together. So this anniversary or birthday, express your gratitude and love with a handmade statement jewellery piece from Bell & Brunt, a family-owned custom jeweller with over a century of experience. Celebrate your partner with Bell & Brunt, James Place, City. Visit bellandbrunt.com.au. Crafted for generations.
As a South Australian institution looking after SA's hydraulic and pneumatic needs for over 70 years, who is it? Oh yeah, BL Shipway. You knew that. Best in the business, aren't they? Work with the best suppliers in the industry as well, like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Olipath and EasyFit and more, I tell you. Now, there's plenty of stock in their new location, 71 Morfett Road. The team of experts there are brilliant. Now, you can get in store, jump on the blower, have a chat. They're always there to help. And BL Shipway's state-of-the-art workshop will take care of your equipment, servicing and repairs. But if they can't, They'll send a Ryco 24/7 mobile hose repair van straight to you. How good? Support a great SA company when you need anything to do with hydraulics. BL Shipway is the place to go. G'day Shippy, 71 Morfett Road, Camden Park, or check them out, blshipway.com.au.
Audi's tender porterhouse steak is now only $5.99 for a 200-gram pack. And there's nothing better than grilling this buttery cut over an open flame. Unless it's 2 a.m, you're in the woods, and that is not good. Audi. Good different.
Experience the joy of an Italian pizzeria at home. Dr. Oetker Ristorante Pizza, with a thin and crispy crust that's topped full of flavour. Dr. Oetker Ristorante. Buy today. Enjoy tonight.
Here's some great news from Darren and Chris at ACET Transport Solutions. They've just added crane trucks on their fleet. These rigid trucks have their own crane for safe loading and unloading, perfect for the big stuff. With over 20 years of experience and over 200 vehicles in their fleet, there's plenty of rigid crane trucks on deck ready for your next delivery. Whatever the load, ACET Transport Solutions will handle your delivery safely. Don't just send it, ACET. Don't just send it, ACET.
It's the show that's given away over 1.6 million.
Yes, yes!
And it's the show that makes dreams become real. Deal or No Deal, 6 o'clock weeknights on 10 and 10 Play.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
8 minutes to 5. Campo sitting in for Rowie. We have Robbo coming up after 5 o'clock. We're live at Athelston Footy Club. Just before we get to Fitzy, this is news he probably doesn't want to hear, but it is interesting for Crows fans. Taylor Walker will be managed by the Crows tomorrow against the Essendon Footy Club at Marvel Stadium. So there's some info going into team selection, which drops in about an hour.
Thursday night, selection night, and Tex is out. So that allows the full tools to play. The solution is already there.
Now
well played. Well, can you believe it? 1974, the first ever City to Bay was run. It's been going 50 years, and there's going to be a documentary on Channel 9 and 9 Now. It's going to be this Sunday, at which is July 21st at 4:30, and a man that's going to be hosting that is the great Ryan Fitzgerald. Fitzy, how are you, mate?
Timmy Genevieve, you beautiful man. Campo, thanks for having me on, boys.
No worries, mate.
How did you get this gig, buddy?
A very good friend of mine, Johnny Taranto, the director of this documentary, was fascinated by this story, Tim, and he asked me if I could get involved, introduce it, and narrate it, and I said to him, well, you know, being a South Australian boy myself, everyone has had an experience with City to Bay, even if you haven't ran it before, you know, you've had family members and a lot of people that have got involved, so he's done an amazing job. You know, I think nostalgia plays a huge part in our lives these days, Tim, and to take you back to the good old days, I think that's what everyone is yearning, and this is a great documentary. He's done a brilliant job.
So when you went through it and worked through it with him, what did you actually learn from it?
Oh, well, I didn't... Do you know what, Timmy? The thing for me is just how many people have been involved. And I think there's about 3 people that are left that have ran every single City Bay, which blows your mind that every year they get up, and even into their 70s and 80s now, they're still competing in it. So, you know, it all started from an idea early on, and it's just got bigger and bigger, and it's now part of our whole lives here in South Australia.
And part of it, Fitzy, was there a lot of people that you either interviewed or were able to get information from that they didn't necessarily know about across the journey of the documentary?
Yeah, Johnny did an amazing job to track down a lot of people who have participated in the City of Bay, but he asked me just to sort of narrate it and asked me my experience at City Bay Campo, and I had to tell him about... Well, Campo, you know, I had an amazing running history back in the day, and Timmy Genevieve, you wouldn't know this, but Campo and I represented South Australia in the life saving in the nippers when we were younger. And we
were the beach fairies. We were the sand fairies.
we were the beach fairies. We had a good team back then, Campo. I think we won a couple of gold medals. We went down to Burnie in Tasmania, which is, I never understood why you'd have an Australian surf lifesaving championships down in Tasmania.
Agreed.
That's unbelievable.
It was freezing cold, but I competed a few times. I was never known for my long distance running. I think Campo, you would have been better in that area, and Timmy yourself as well. But you know what? The best thing about this is whether you dress up for City to Bay or you really want to get your PB, or you're just doing it with the family to raise money. It's a great cause, and it's just been a great event.
Did they find out, Fitzy, around? And your last point was one I was going to ask you. Those fund runs, essentially, there's all those categories that you spoke about, but they're great vehicles for charities to get people involved and raise money for foundation. Timmy spoke about the Little Heroes. Have we got a number as to perhaps what that might have been able to create over 50 years in terms of like money raised for those certain areas?
Be a big dollar.
Oh, you would think so. 800,000 people have competed, and there is that element of raising money for it. Do you know what? I don't have those figures in front of me, boys, but it is something. It's a very competitive industry, raising money and fundraising and for charity. And like you asked Bone this, Chris McDermott. Little Heroes have had an amazing longevity, but it is hard. It's hard because there's a lot of people out there that really want to raise money. City Bay has been an amazing experience because. You know what? It started. Not many people got involved, and it took a while before it really started to take off with the state. So, 50 years is just unbelievable to have that kind of longevity and still have that popularity.
And still going strong. The special is on Channel 9 and 9 now, July 21st, 4:30 p.m. That's this Sunday. Fitzy, before you leave us, your chance to beat the Bombers, and did you know tax is out?
Yeah, I just heard that before. Thursday nights were never good for me, Tim, because I would usually receive a phone call. I would usually receive a phone call going, congratulations, mate, you're going to be playing in the twos, or you're starting on the bench. But look, do you know what? The silver lining to that is that Elliot Himmelberg gets to play another game, and I really think that Elliot has stood up and done his job really well, and then it gives Riley Philthorpe another chance. So to have Fogg, Himmels and Philly up there, I'm confident that, these boys need to prove themselves without Tex at some stage. So let's cross fingers and hope the boys do all right on Friday against the Bombers.
Brilliant, Fitzy. Thanks very much for your time, mate. You're hosting that... Well, the City to Bay, 50 years. Unbelievable special. It's going to be on Channel 9 and 9 now, this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And I'm sure you've done a brilliant job, mate. Thanks very much, mate. You'll be in my team, don't worry.
Good on you, Timmy. Thanks, Campo. Speak to you soon, boys.
See you, mate.
Excellent work. It is 2 minutes to 5. Robbo to join us after the 5 o'clock news.
Rowie and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
On the lookout for a new Nissan Qashqai? Look no further than Adelaide Hills Nissan. We've got stock available now at incredible prices with unbeatable Adelaide Hills Nissan service. Come see Tian, Simon and our local team at Adelaide Hills Nissan in Bridgewater. LMVD 325189.
The way we connect with listeners is changing. Radio, podcast, streaming, in-store, and the way to connect your business with millions of Aussie listeners every week is at Amplify. August 27 and 28 at Jama's Restaurant, Bowden. Tickets are free, but you need to register at audiorsvp.com.au. Hear how audio can change the way you do business for the better. Register now at audiorsvp.com.au.
Electric vehicles are incredible, Tim. So if you own one, I'm not sure whether you do, or you're thinking of buying one, maybe, it's definitely a great move. What's not so great is running out of charge. Or driving around town or the burbs praying you can find a charge station that's not already in use, but before you run out of juice.
Oh, that's right, because you'd be driving around thinking, where is the next one? But don't worry about that. Get in touch with BC EV Chargers. They're fully qualified electricians. BC EV Chargers, they specialise in all makes of electric vehicle charging systems. You might not have known this, but no two systems are the same.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, now you do. So this is why BC EV Chargers are important. They are indeed, and they're certified experts in the field of electric field charging. And they work with massive brands like RAA and ChargeFox.
Yeah, so if you drive an electric
electric vehicle, the message is simple, Tim. Charge at home and you're free to roam.
Oh, I like that.
With BC EV Chargers, visit bcevchargers.com.au.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloudy tonight, down to 8. Rain becoming windy tomorrow, 14. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel.
It's been a horror day on our roads. Emergency services are responding to a serious crash on Victor Harbour Road at Mount Jagged. Victor Harbour Road is closed to traffic in both directions between Gulwert Road and Hindmarsh Tears Road. And police remain at the scene of a serious crash at Joanna near Narracourt in the state's southeast. A car and a truck collided head-on this morning. 2 of the 3 occupants of the car, a 28-year-old Narracourt woman and 4-year-old boy, have life-threatening injuries. A third occupant, an 8-year-old girl, escaped serious injury, while the driver of the truck, a 59-year-old Limestone Coast man, was taken to hospital with minor injuries. The ALP has cut ties with some CFMEU branches in the wake of explosive corruption allegations. The National Executive met today and unanimously decided to suspend affiliation with the New South Wales, Victorian, SA and Tasmanian branches. The suspension will remain in place until further notice. But Rebecca Pickering from the Civil Contractors Federation of SA says they need to go further.
We would like to see ABCC restored or something similar. We need a similar authority that our contractors can go to without fear of reprisal, with those whistleblower protections, for their voice to be heard, so things can be fully investigated.
Donald Trump's new running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, has formally accepted the Republican Party's nomination 48 hours after being tapped on the shoulder for the job. Lauren Tomasi was at the convention in Milwaukee.
J.D. Vance has captured the attention of a loyal Republican crowd, using his primetime speech to accept the party nomination and praise Donald Trump. Vance was once a fierce Trump critic. Today, he only held criticism for Joe Biden railing against the current president. Donald Trump was watching on from the stands after receiving another hero's welcome. After 3 days of seeing the former president, the world is waiting for him to speak that public address tomorrow.
The question over whether Joe Biden will step aside, paving the way for Kamala Harris to contest for the top job, remains a hot topic. Mr Biden is off the campaign trail for now, dealing with a bout of COVID. Pollster Frank Luntz has told Sky a Trump-Kamala debate would be must-see TV.
I would pay you for a Trump-Harris debate. I will sell tickets, I will bring the popcorn, and it'll be an event heard round the world.
In Victoria, a report into a mid-air crash between 2 fighter jets over Port Phillip Bay has found a pilot's impromptu request to repeat a flight trick mid-air put the jets at higher risk. Pilot Stephen Gale and cameraman James Rose died after their military jet collided with a second plane while filming a documentary on November 19 last year. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau has found the crash occurred when the 2 aircraft tried to repeat a move so it could be filmed from a better angle at around 3,000 feet. And a 24 film is in the works. There's no word yet whether Kiefer Sutherland will return as Jack Bauer. Now turning to 5AA's sport.
From the crew at the Mosaic Hotel and ex-Golf West Lakes, come for a swing, stay for a meal.
The AFL Appeals Tribunal is in session. Brisbane is appealing Charlie Cameron's 3-week ban, while the Giants will try and wind back Toby Bedford's penalty for a contentious tackle. Riley Thilthorpe is expected to be elevated into the Crows starting side for tomorrow night's clash with Essendon in Melbourne. Crows coach Matthew Nick says wet weather won't be a problem this week under the roof at Marvel Stadium.
We can play with 4 tools, and there's different things we do with rotations. If we were going to do that, it'd be a week where we knew the conditions coming in, because we probably don't want to go 4 tools in our starting 22 if the weather's wet.
Mitch Hinge will return from groin soreness, while injuries will force Port Adelaide to make several changes for Saturday night's clash against the Tigers. The teams will be named later this hour. And Blues coach Michael Maguire is backing his players after ugly sideline melees in the Origin decider. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
G'day there at Largs North. Boom gates are down. Fletcher Road near the level crossing. Crafers, debris on the road. The freeway down track near the Stirling ramp got speeds at 60. And Noarlunga Down's got a breakdown Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exit. Super heavy delays outbound at the moment. First Watermine at Clarence Park. Goodwood Road near Francis Streets with the camera tonight. Do these streets at Melbourne. The King Living Winter Sale is in its final days. Save up to 50% on selected Australian Design Award-winning furniture. Hurry, final days. Visit the King Living Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotaMaterialHandling.com.au.
Down to 8 tonight. Rain becoming windy tomorrow, 14. Saturday, showers and winds easing, 15. Sunday, a shower or two, 16. Right now, it's 12 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, the hateful racist rant caught on camera at an Adelaide hotel. A disturbing city robbery, 3 boys and a taser. Calls for free vaccinations for SA's younger children amid an RSV wave that's seen so many hospitalised. An urgent IKEA product recall, and the foods pregnant women should eat to give their children healthy hearts. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Eliminate the middleman with JB Caravans. JB Caravans are a factory direct caravan dealership, and they're having their grand opening sale next week from Thursday to Sunday. Check out full off-road hybrids from $79,990 and Aussie-made touring vans from $74,990, as well as incredible deals on off-road vans, Iveco motorhomes and cash and carry gear. Don't miss JB Caravans grand opening sale, July 25 to 28, 11 to 37 Port Wakefield Road, Jeps Cross, or visit jbcaravans.com.au.
Parties, weddings, big events. What do they all have in common? Pals. You know your pals want to have a good time, but what will everyone want to drink? That's when you need to speak to Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals will make sure you've got the right type of drinks, the right amount, and best of all, we'll make sure you've got the best labels that will keep everyone talking about your event. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family-owned and operated, because it's personal.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes after 5 here on this Thursday. We are live at Athelston Footy Club tonight for the Adelaide Footy League's 9 News at your club. Still to come on the show, we got David Teague, the Richmond assistant coach, Thunderbirds captain Hannah Petty ahead of their big first finals week in at home. We've got the Port Locker Room tickets quiz, Timmy, that isn't far away, and Crows and Port Adelaide's teams will drop in about 40 minutes. At 10 minutes to 6, Tex Walker's already been reported to be out rested, so that's some news for Crows fans. But before we get to Robbo, we've had our first win for the weekend.
All right.
Charlie Cameron has been cleared at the appeals board.
Wow.
He's free to play. The tribunal fell into, quote, error of law, according to the appeals board.
Wow, that is huge news. I can't wait to get to our guest,
Let's
Mark Robinson.
Get to Robbo.
Mark Robbo Robinson. Thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. Cooking appliances, washing machines, dishwashers, TVs and more. 919 Marion Road, Marion.
Yes, we welcome Mark Robinson, AFL 360 and Herald Sun chief footy writer. Robbo, has sanity prevailed?
No, I don't know if it has, to be honest. I actually think that this is a massive curveball. The AFL will say, oh, it's part of the process. We've got the MRO, and then you've got the tribunal, and you can appeal, so that's part of the process. But if you're a footy fan, and we're all footy fans, you'd be looking at this saying, what is going on? What is this system where he doesn't get a free kick against him, he gets 3 weeks, and then he gets thrown out by a technicality of law. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I won't understand really what the technicality is. I'll be honest with you. This is lawyers who've got hold of this case. Now, the AFL's rules and regulations, they're not watertight then. If lawyers can go in on a Thursday and pull apart that decision, the AFL, I think, have got a problem with their rules and regulations.
Gee whiz, I tell you what though, we were talking about it all week, of course, and I thought to myself when this just happened, well, that takes away the subject matter, but I'm actually thinking now, because we were arguing of just about what does a player do from here and how does a coach it from here, but maybe this helps a little bit in that, but also then you throw in that the AFL hold no precedence either, so we can't refer back to this case, Robbo.
Well, no, but don't make no mistake, the AFL will tighten their rules. And they always do. After the Maynard hit last year, they changed the rules. No, they'll have to have a look at their rules. They can't make a big song and dance about protecting their head, and then have a situation where one of their cases, which they're prosecuted, thrown out by lawyers. It can happen. It has happened. But they can't allow that to happen. If they are serious about protecting the head, then we've got an issue. This is what a complete and utter balls up.
It is. Campo here, Robert. How you going? The first thing I want to ask you, I mean, it's staggering to think that the week that we've had, I mean, you would have to suggest now that Tony Bedford gets off. There's no possible way that he could actually, they could uphold the same scenario in this decision.
Well, myself and Jerry were talking after 360 last night that what we suggested that those two go in together with the one lawyer, and you attack the rules and regulations as a joint project. And I said to Jerry, could you imagine the uproar if one of them gets off and one of them doesn't? So we're halfway there, because that'll really throw the world into a tailspin if one gets off and one doesn't.
Well, they can't possibly do it. But anyway, it staggers me. I mean, even as a pure footy person, as a coach, that's what I was talking with Timmy about. I'm there going, it's just, like, how do you coach it? Like, even now, what's the how do you coach it from here on in? So if the same incident happens again this weekend, do they get off? Does it get looked at? Like, that's the question I would have as a coach or someone that's heading up a footy department.
Yeah, I suspect that Andrew Dillon will have a press conference tomorrow because... So the one thing that's disappointed everyone, I think, is the lack of leadership from the AFL. Guidance of what is happening. Because the uproar this week, not just from fans, from players, from coaches who are confused. When we've got the big major bodies in the game, right, which are the players, the coaches, and the fans, all confused, we've got a problem. And that's what's happened this week. We've got a problem. Now they've thrown this curveball back at us. You know what? I feel that the decision to say if you pin the arms and take a person on the ground and they hit his head, fundamentally, I think that's good for the game. That's not accepted. I think that's really good. Remember when the bump was brought in? They brought in the bump and said if you hit someone in the head, you're going to be suspended. There was uproar, but then we accepted that. I think over time we're going to have to accept that if you apply a tackle, you pin the arms and don't release the arms, and the player goes to the ground and hits the head, you are going to be liable. I think that will be absolutely accepted within a couple of years. We're in a transition period right now. Now, how do you teach that, Campo? I don't know.
Yeah.
Run the risk.
It's very difficult. Oh, well, it's very, and I said it before. Ultimately, it's part of business moving forward. You're just going to have to accept that if you happen to be in that situation, and that's unfortunately you're not trying to do it deliberately, but if the outcome is that you concuss someone or they have an head injury, that's part of doing business and playing in the AFL. Now you're going to have to cop a week or 2 weeks on the back of that.
Maybe, just maybe, for 100 odd years we've been playing this game. Maybe we've allowed that sort of brutal side of the game. We've just accepted it. Oh, it's footy. It's footy. You know, it's a contact sport. Maybe we've lagged behind the rest of the world who are making, a lot of progress in trying to protect the head. Maybe the Australian rules is lagging behind, and the AFL under Andrew Dillon and Laura Kane have now said, right, this is a transition period, that their agents have changed and they have to change. Now, the litigation is one factor. We all know that. And the other factor is there's people out there, I'm sure, I don't know if you guys know of former players, I do, who are struggling in life. Like, we know that some have committed suicide. We know that there's dementia and there's mental health problems. Do we just dismiss them and say, oh, that's part of the game? Or does the game have a responsibility to look after its combatants? I think it's the latter.
No, I think we all agree with that, Robbo. But I guess if we're lagging behind, where do the NRL sit with that? Because we were sitting here talking about the state of division last night. There would have been 2 players left on the field if it was an AFL-ruled game.
Yeah, it's a brutal sport, rugby league. Well, you've got to ask the question, how long? How long will rugby league survive in its current format? I mean, they've really come down heavy suspensions, haven't they? With head-high hits. I mean, their suspensions are longer than the AFL hits. Absolutely, they're longer.
Yeah, it's an interesting future. I think they've definitely brought some protocols in to protect the head and got rid of a lot of the double action tackling and also going in hard underneath the knees and the like. So I think they've done a fair bit. It's just a matter of how far we do go with it. And maybe Campo's right. It's just a matter of if you do that, you're going to get suspended. So we'll see how that plays out.
Do you think? I think that sits okay. I'll be honest.
I think that they're doing as much as they can.
They've got to. They just have to. They really do. At the start of the week, when I saw the Bedford one, I thought, you can't get suspended for that. You just can't. But as the week's gone on, I'm listening, I'm thinking, well, can we play the game and have people concussed and say, well, it's just footy? Are those days gone? I think they are gone.
I think the crudeness, the non-footy act, absolutely.
I think definitely, Robbo. I think we all agree with that. It's more the fact that if it's a footy action and he's not trying to hurt him, and then we talk about a split-second reaction where you're trying to tackle someone, that's very difficult when you're playing the game to just stop and think about those things when you've got a millisecond to make a decision. And that's where the clarity must come in.
Yeah, extremely difficult. And I don't know how they supply that clarity, Campo. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know if anyone really knows how. So what they're trying to do, basically, they're just trying to change behaviours, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. So, guys, if you're in a situation like that, don't pin the arms. This is the big one. Don't pin the arms. Now let's just go back in time. We've got a little bit of time. It's a really important subject, I reckon. Go back in time. When I was growing up, you tackled around the waist and around the hips. And what happened then, coaches and players got really smart. Let's lift the arm so you can still get the handball off. To you, Campo, running on the outside and take 3 bounces. So what they decided then, coaches and players and assistant coaches, when we tackle, pin the arm. But in the meantime, we were still sort of tackling and dumping. So we were dumping players with arms pinned. And people would get knocked out, and no one liked that. That's not fair. No one liked that. So the AFL's changing it. So do they have to change the tackling? Do we have to give up pinning the arms? Now people will say, well, that'll allow them to get the ball away. And I said to someone, what's wrong with that? Because if they get the ball away, that means the creativity of Australian rules is in action. People are running with the ball, bouncing it, kicking it, rather than stoppages, tackling, etc. Do we want more tackling or less tackling in the game? More congestion, more stoppages, repeat stoppages? The pinning of the arms is the thing that has to change.
Yeah, I think it's a good point because ultimately, Timmy, we played a fair bit of footy, and you sit there and go, I don't remember, a teammate getting knocked out necessarily by a tackle. And we would some of the Robbo. We've had some text messages. around like the grounds. The grounds got to be more pristine and look better, so the grounds are harder than what they would have been
Yeah,
perhaps
that's true.
15, 20 years ago as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that come in. Like Liam Duggan. Liam Duggan was knocked out 6 weeks ago. Okay, was he more suspect to a head knock? Sam Walsh got taken down by Dangerfield. Sam Walsh wasn't concussed. Has he got a harder head than Liam Duggan, who might have been still rattled a little bit
more susceptible
6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
You know, there's so much. There's so many matters that you have to take into consideration. So it's going to be really interesting to see where the AFL goes from here. They're not going to abandon the dangerous tackle and concussion. They'll tighten their laws so that lawyers can't come in and rip them apart.
Hey, Robert, if you were looking for answers from the AFL CEO conference, I'm not sure that you got any because the agenda items weren't that hard-hitting, I didn't think.
No, well, I don't know if we got any finality on any of them either, did we?
No, I think Andrew Dillon himself said we didn't land anywhere. They're still up in the air.
Well, bringing 18 CEOs together to try and look at the competitive balance, how many are going to agree? So the AFL's collecting information, they're collecting ideas, and they'll come back. They'll come back and say, right, this is what we've decided. So we're still waiting for that, aren't we? I mean, I was expecting a bigger result from the conference, I'll be honest. I was expecting Andrew Dillon to come out yesterday and say, right, after careful consideration, we're doing this, this and this. And what do we get?
Are they not allowed to, though, Robbo, though, because it has to go to the Commission? My understanding is it's got to go to the Commission first in August before he can pull the trigger on some of those things.
Oh, who knows? To be honest, Campo, who knows? The Commission. What is the Commission? They're unheard of, aren't they? They're just there. The administration runs the AFL. The Commission ticks it all off. It'll be leaked out. If anything's been agreed to, it'll leak out. Like the NGAs has been leaked out. You know, teams will be able to just go after the NGAs whenever, you know, take them early in the draft. That's one that's already leaked out. But oh God, it's been a challenging year for the AFL. Now I think they do not a bad job, but I don't think the fans would be very impressed with the AFL this year.
Not so far. Very glacial in their movements.
The game is in pretty good nick. High crowds, big crowds, close games, great players. But I think other aspects of the competition haven't been welcomed by the fans at all. Actually, I don't know how much faith the fans have got with headquarters at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, mate. In the front bar, there's a lot of conjecture, I reckon, mate. But thanks very much for your time, Robbo. Appreciate it, but we'll speak to you this time next week if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no problem, boys. See you later.
Excellent. Mark Robinson, of course, AFL 360 and Chief Football Writer at the Herald Sun. All thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. From the cooking appliances, the washing machines, dishwashers, TVs and more. There's new stock arriving weekly, all with manufacturer's warranties. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre at 919 Marion Road, Marion.
It's 23 after 5. Charlie Cameron just updating you is free to play. He's been cleared of his 3-game ban at the appeals board, and right now Toby Bedford has just started their argument. So we'll give you the update on how that's going after we check your traffic. All thanks to Unique Homestyle Foods. Get Unique pies, sausage rolls and donuts from your local independent supermarket. Unique, it's time for something better.
Adelaide's North boom gates are down. Fletcher Road near the level crossing. No longer down. To break down Main South Road in the Southern Expressway exit. Heavy delays there. Burst Waterway to Clarence Park. Goodwood Road near Francis Street. Slow going. South Road Edwardstown. Busy Brighton Road Brighton with a camera at Fisher Street at Malvern. The Subaru sale has been extended to get free Rego and CTP, 5 years roadside assist and a fuel voucher on selected models. T's and C's apply. Ends July 31. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. Something's cooking on 5AA weekends.
What produce is in season and how to prepare it?
Tune in Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. and get your taste buds tingling as SA super chefs Callum Han and Themis Cressidas present On the Menu.
It's food, it's wine, lovely South Australian produce.
Get a taste of On the Menu with Callum Han and Themis Cressidas.
Disneyland for foodies.
Sunday mornings from 10 on 5AA.
Try a bit of this, try a bit of that.
Always Adelaide.
Head south as the all-new GWM Cannon Alpha has arrived at Southgate GWM Ranella. Larger, smarter and gutsier than ever. Australia's first ever full hybrid ute with a combined 255 kilowatts and 648 newton metres. Also available in a turbo diesel engine with 135 kilowatts and 480 newton metres. All with 3,500 kilo brake towing capacity. Head down to Southgate GWM, 49 Main South Road, Ranella.
It's the show that's given away over 1.6 million. And it's the show that makes dreams become real. Deal or No Deal, 6 o'clock weeknights on 10 and 10 Play.
When it comes to suits, big brands are important, but what's more important, Tim, is how they look and feel when you're in them.
Now, I know you haven't been there. I'll take you.
Okay.
You can meet Daniel and the team, and you go through the process. It is amazing. Got this magnificently. You wait till you see me in the jacket.
Wow.
You're going to be jealous. I
Okay.
reckon we could get a nice lining for you too.
Righto.
But look, Ignition for Men, it's Adelaide's home of Armani, Canali, Zegna, and they offer impeccable range of suits by all leading Italian brands. Campo would be Italian, I imagine. Yes, correct. But most importantly, they ensure that the fit is perfect. And they can do this because they're tailors. They're the real deal.
Yeah. From comfortable everyday office suits by Gibson and Joe Black to dinner dress attire, wedding and all occasion suits, the range, style and service at Ignition for Men is tailored to make you look and feel your best, Tim. Nothing like it.
Take it from me, get in there and have a look. And if you like casual wear, they've got brands like EA7, Replay, Hugo Boss, Karl Lagerfeld, and more. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty good-looking gear. It is you.
Yeah.
It is you. Jump online, take a look at ignitionformen.com.au. They're trying to make me look like Scotty. All at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Here's some great news from Darren and Chris at ACET Transport Solutions. They've just added crane trucks on their fleet. These rigid trucks have their own crane for safe loading and unloading, perfect for the big stuff. With over 20 years of experience and over 200 vehicles in their fleet, there's plenty of rigid crane trucks on deck ready for your next delivery. Whatever the load, ACET Transport Solutions will handle your delivery safely. Don't just send it. Don't just send it, ace it.
Stay warm this winter with Mac Trade Services. Take advantage of huge SA government rebates on reverse cycle air conditioners. If you are a concession card holder, you can get a reverse cycle Actron air conditioner from only $599, supplied and installed. That's nearly a 70% discount off the normal price. Get in quick while stocks last. Visit the Mac Trade Services office in Rose Park or call 1300 430 917.
They make up their own what's for dinner minds. Aren't afraid to jiggle a trolley token, defy bag-packing physics, and relish the challenge of the checkout. They're Aldi to the core. Aldi, good different.
Harris Scarf Big Stock Take Sale is on now. Save up to 60% off air fryers, kettles and toasters, plus 40 to 60% off cookware by Tefal, Scanpan, Rayco and more. Hurry, sale ends Sunday 21st of July. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
28 minutes after 5. Welcome back very shortly. David Teague and Port Adelaide and the Crows will name their teams at 5:50. And Taylor Walker's already been reported as rested for the Crows.
Yes.
And we know Dusty Martin won't play for Richmond. Correct. So we'll have all that team detail at 5:50. An update quickly from what's happening at the appeals board in regards to Toby Bedford's case, which has just begun. The argument from the Giants is Bedford's tackle was not careless conduct within the meaning of the tribunal guidelines. So they're going to attack the tribunal guidelines once again, just like Charlie Cameron and Brisbane Lions did moments ago, which was successful. And they also take issue with what the AFL said Bedford could have done instead of tackling the way he did. The Giants have said there was no suggestion of tackling in a way that was different from leaping. So for that reason, the finding amounts to a rejection of the AFL's own argument that there was an alternative way of tackling. And this goes back to, was it Valerie's call earlier last hour?
Yes,
she said there was...
The example?
Yeah, the example of if there's a chase down tackle and a player, it does it all legally, and it's exactly what a coach would ask a player to do, and he hits his head, are we going to take that out of the game? Well, this is pretty much the Toby Bedford case now, isn't it?
Well, and they're both arguing, I guess, what else could they possibly do, and they're not trying to do it. That's essentially... So don't worry about all the last two appeals. Essentially what they're trying to say is there was no other option. Yeah. Which is, once again, I think that's fair. And I'll be... we just said it, Timmy. What happens if Tony Bedford gets and they uphold him?
Imagine that.
We're even more confused, I would imagine. As a supporter, you're there going, well, I don't know still don't know what's right.
We would all just look at each other and go, what next? Well, got some feedback on the Robbo interview. One was, Robbo has dead set lost the plot. How many games of football has he played? Ridiculous, says Adrian. So that firing away there. Another one, June, says, no. You cause a player to get concussion, you get suspended. Heaney gets suspended for what? And Charlie Cameron gets off. Sorry, every player that got suspended this year is going to wonder what's going on. Cameron's was worse than mine. So what's going on with this AFL? Well, it's confusion, June, and that's exactly where we're at, unfortunately. And exactly what Robbo said. The game might be in really good nick in some areas, but I think at the front bar we're all a bit puzzled.
You know what Charlie Cameron does have that Isaac Heaney doesn't? A good bloke card.
Ooh,
didn't have to use it this time though, but he does. He did use it last time. 29 minutes to 6. We're going to take a break. David Teague to join us next.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good evening. Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. 6 people have been injured in a 2-car crash on the Victor Harbour Road at Mount Jagged. It's the second serious crash on the state's roads today. The SA branch of the CFMEU has hit back at allegations of thuggery and intimidation, telling members the union has done nothing wrong. Donald Trump Jr. and his 17-year-old daughter addressed the party faithful on day 3 of the Republican National Convention. And in sport, Brisbane's Charlie Cameron's appeal has been successful after the tribunal made an error of law, meaning he's free to play. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
G'day there at Elizabeth. Crash Main North Road near Midway Road. Got the boom gate stuck down at the moment at Largs North. Not ideal. Fletcher Road just near the level crossing, obviously. No longer down to Breakdown. Main South Road near the Southern Expressway exit and slow for works Brighton Road at Brighton. Got a camera today. Northeast Road at Teachery Gully. The Harvey Norman Furniture and Bedding run-out clearance is on now. Race in for up to 50% off lounges, dining, bedding, outdoor and more. The Harvey Norman run-out is on now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloudy tonight down to 8, rain becoming windy tomorrow 14. Right now it's 11. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
This is mangy old bunch of old Wollonga hippies taking time out from making their own sauerkraut to get in the second-hand Volvo and come into town every Monday for a bit of socialising and save the planet. And if you say to them, you are preventing a reputable business that has nothing to do with climate change, their response would be, well, if you think this is inconvenient, wait until the planet burns.
Yeah, that's right.
David Penberthy rejoins Will Goodings for 5AA Breakfast this Monday on Adelaide's 5AA.
Whether you're moving house, moving materials or moving people, calling Budget Car and Truck Rental is always your best move. Our huge range of vehicles make any move smooth, with trucks, vans, cars, utes, hybrids, 12 to 25-seater buses and more. Find your nearest Budget in the Adelaide CBD, Salisbury, Clemzig, Wingfield, Marsden, Morfett Vale or the airport. Budget Car and Truck Rental. Get to the good stuff. Call 13 27 27 or visit budget.com.au.
Get saving now with City Discount Tyres. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttires.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tyres.
If you love cars, you'll love a Mitsubishi. And if you love a Mitsubishi, you'll love the Mitsubishi Triton, Timmy. And if you love Mitsubishi Tritons, you'll really love the brand new 2024 new gen Mitsubishi Triton.
Oh, yeah. Nothing frightens a Triton. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, good. Especially if you're dealing with the legends at Agostino Mitsubishi. Look, they've been putting smiles on the dials of Adelaide's Mitsi lovers for over 35 years, so they're experts in exceptional service.
Treat yourself to a test drive of the new 2024 gen Mitsubishi Triton and see if you can resist snapping it up for a great deal with 10 years warranty, Timmy, and 10 years cap service.
Nobody else does that. Nobody else. So hurry in and meet the team at Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth, or go to that brand new state-of-the-art dealership at Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes and test drive the new 2024 gen Mitsubishi Triton today.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre. Freestyle Libre is a small wearable sensor that monitors your glucose levels and trends and sends them straight to your phone. Instant up-to-date feedback. No finger pricks. How good is that? And you can trial Freestyle Libre for only $15. Just head to freestylelibre.com.au to find out how. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use. Read warnings before purchase. Free yourself from finger pricks with Freestyle Libre.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
24 minutes to 6. Campo's here for Rowie tonight. We're live at Athelston Footy Club for the Adelaide Footy League's 9 News at your club. We have Port Locker Room tickets not too far away, and Crows and Port Adelaide will name their teams for this weekend in about 14 minutes.
Absolutely. Port Adelaide take on Richmond Saturday night at Adelaide Oval in what got to be a must-win game. And I tell you what, we got their assistant coach on now, David T. G'day, David.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Excellent, thank you. Now, coming into this game, just having a look at Port and what you've been able to scout and have a look perhaps at the Gold Coast game last week, what have you found that you might be able to perhaps pierce in their armour?
Oh, look, they've played some good footy throughout the year, so they're obviously a quality side, and playing them on the home ground is going to be a great challenge for us. But last time we went over there, we played Adelaide and we played quite well, so we're looking forward to it. Look, Port are very strong, particularly around that midfield. If they can win that contested ball, centre bounces, they score well from centre bounces and get the ball in their front half. They're quite good at pinning it in their front half. So we need to be really strong in around the ball. They're also very good at using the corridor. So we've got to make sure that when we get our chances, we can take the ball back through the corridor, get numbers through there, so that when and if we don't score and we turn it over, we force them wide.
I'm just having a look at your unavailable list, and we know Dustin Martin's joined that once again. That's massive, mate. What have you done to him?
Yeah, no, it hasn't been a great run, but the exciting thing is we've been able to get some games into some of the other guys, which is really pleasing, and particularly for Richmond. Obviously, they've had a pretty settled side for a long time, and probably over the last couple of years, we've been able to give guys some games, and to their credit, they've been working really hard. Some guys have had to fight really hard to get an opportunity, and now they are getting those. So you've got the guys like Tom Brown and Ryan Mansell, Seth Campbell have been able to not just put 1 or 2 games together, put sort of block of 10 games together and start to really find the demands of what the AFL require, and it's been a pleasing aspect for us.
Tiki Campo here. I hope you're well. I mean, Adam's taken over in his first year. It's been a baptism of fire. Obviously, you and Truck have sort of been through similar situations. How have you been able to support him?
Yeah, look, it has. And it's been a real challenge in the sense of the one thing you want is a healthy list, regardless where you sit, where you expect to finish. You want a healthy list, and he hasn't had that. And then even just continuity. When you bring in a new message in, a new voice, slightly different structure, slightly different game style, you'd love to have continuity of the guys out there playing that type of game together and doing it with each other. So, look, Truck's a very, very good coach. I'm amazed that if he doesn't get a senior opportunity down the track again, he's really good, gives a really level head, and has great understanding, not just of the X's and O's, but the bigger picture in terms of your performance mindset. And you obviously try and help and guide. You've also got to give him some room to let him do it his way. And Uz has been really good at that. He's got a really strong, clear idea of how he wants the game to be played, and he's doing a really good job in trying to embed that on the players. Particularly, we started probably mainly focusing on defence earlier, and we've started to add a little bit more offence to that at the moment. But it takes time, but he's doing it well.
And it's a bit unique, Teague. I guess there's been a good portion of the list that's had plenty of success. Most of them either 2 or 3 premierships, individually. How have they been able to keep, I guess, those guys, the energy levels up when considering you're sitting where you're sitting on the bottom of the ladder? Are they getting it through that younger group that you just mentioned to come through, or are they regenerated knowing that they've got a new coach in there and a new philosophy?
Yeah, I think the new coach adds a bit of interest, even for older guys that have probably been there, done it a fair bit. Just deep down inside, they probably know they're still part of the best 18, but there's definitely that part that they want to prove it and show that they're still a leader. But I think where a lot of growth's come from is in those younger guys, but it's the older guys are the ones that have taken the opportunity to take them forward and help them and guide the guys. So I know Nick Boston's been outstanding for Tom Brown, who both play across half-back, and Dustin, when he was up and going, was really good, helping some of the young forwards and just giving them some guidance. And not only in games, but on the training track. Like, they all get to experience. Sometimes for the guys that aren't getting an AFL game, training's as the high level as they'll be competing at. So they get a chance to learn off those guys. So there's been a lot of guys that have been working really hard to help develop those younger guys coming through.
Speaking with David Teague, Richmond assistant coach, you've had to blood a lot of young players. Who sort of caught your eye and said, well, I reckon this lad's going all right, he's improving well? Yeah,
there's been a few. There's been a couple that started. Like McKelty Lafau was a great story, who in February wasn't even on a list, worked his way onto a list, and then he ended up being a key forward, and we miss him. We miss someone that wasn't even on our list, who then got an opportunity to tough compete in kinds of way, and now we're sitting there going, 6 months ago we probably weren't worrying about him not being available for selection, but now we miss him. But you've got the guys. Tom Brown, I think, is probably one down in the back half, who's really grown, really nice ball user, understanding the demands of the game and learning off someone like Nick Boston. Like, when you've got some experienced guys that have been to the top, they've won flags, and to be able to learn off those guys has been really good. The two I mentioned earlier, in Ryan Mansell's really stepped up, and in a forward line without Tom Lynch and Dustin, it's pretty young. Shay's probably our oldest forward that's down there, and Ryan Mansell's not only cemented his spot into the side, he's become a leader of our forward line, and his pressure and his attack on the ball is something that the other guys thrive off. And then you've got some guys like Thompson Dow got a big block of games through the middle, in the middle. Kane McAuliffe, Seth Campbell, Olafsonzi. So there's a good group. Samson Ryan starting to get a bit of a run of playing some games. He's got an injury, missed a couple of games, but he's starting to get a run of these guys. And then you've probably got some middle tier guys. Like Noah Bolts has probably taken his leadership and to another level at both ends of the field. So it's not only just the young ones, it's also the opportunity for that middle tier to step up and be your next generation of leader and guide the way for the guys around them.
You mentioned that Crows win over here in round 13. I think that was probably the best game you've played all year. You can take some confidence from that.
Yeah, we probably a couple of times we played Adelaide. We played down at Geelong as well, and for probably 2.5 quarters we were playing quite well. So the narrower field, a bit more in the contest, it probably suits our list. With some of our big-bodied mids and being able to get numbers to the contest really helps us. So, no, we take a lot of confidence out of that game. We understand that Port are a different beast that we're playing against. They've got some excellent, particularly through that midfield. They've Rosie, Butters, these guys, Horn Francis, Drew, these guys through the middle. We've got to make sure we can compete with them. And if we can start winning some of those midfield battles and midfield contests, get the game played in our half, we feel we can lock the ball in our half and eventually score if we can get the game played down that end.
Well, all the best on Saturday night. Keep working with those young fellas, mate, and thanks for your time.
No, pleasure. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all our support over in South Australia.
Beautiful. A big Tiger Army over here in SA will be down there Saturday night. David Teague, assistant coach of the Richmond Football Club, on the line. Keep giving us your calls, 8223 0000. Just repeating, Charlie Cameron cleared, free to play. So the Toby Bedford case underway, and we'll find out what happens in that one. We'll go to David at Strathalbyn. G'day, David.
Good evening, gents. How are you?
Excellent, mate.
Yeah, I just want to talk on the match review panel. They have a system of how they suspend players when people are concussed or hit high. Yet you see some behind-the-ball incidents that get off. Why don't they rate those the same way? Intentional, eye contact, deliberate. They don't seem to do that with that.
Yeah, well, I think, David, the obvious one that we spoke about with
Yes.
Roses, with the Gold Coast, I guess that's what you're alluding to, or one of those. But ultimately, it's the consequence of what happens. Now, if Logan Evans goes down and is concussed, he's probably out for 6 weeks.
The world would be up in arms.
Correct.
And it's not a footy act.
No, correct. So your point is right, but unfortunately the way that it's the Matrix now, and we keep talking about this Matrix and whether it needs an overhaul, yes it does, but we're sitting there, it's the consequence. So even with the tackles that we're saying, if those guys weren't concussed, it'd be play on.
Yep. Yeah.
So you could argue that, I think in that situation that Tony Bedford should have been awarded a free kick for holding the ball because Tim Taranto had an opportunity to either kick or handball.
Yeah, correct.
So that's where the confusion is coming in for everyone.
Yep.
But the off-ball ones absolutely should be rated higher because they're not a footy act.
Well said, Campo. That's exactly what the Giants are currently arguing at the moment. They are midway through their case at the appeals board with Toby Bedford to get off that 3-game ban. Teams are going to drop on the other side of this ad break, and some news has come out from Josh Gabalik, AFL reporter, that for the Essendon Crows game, the Dons aren't going to be picking Peter Wright. Now, for whatever reason, whether that be injury or resting or whatever, we'll find out more, but he will not be lining up against the Crows. Big 2-metre Peter. So that's
we spoke to Jordan Butts about that earlier in the week, and I said, is that normally your matchup? And he said, yeah, normally I get him. So, Jordan, you can sleep a bit better, mate.
Sleeping easy.
A new matchup
Don't
for
have to
him.
wear your build-up boots, You don't have to build up three inches.
He'll just have Jake Stringer instead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we'll find the exact teams in a few minutes' time. But first, let's check your traffic after the break.
G'day there, got a crash at Elizabeth to look out for. Main North Road near Midway Road, breakdown at Noongar Downs, Main South Road to the Southern Expressway exit. Still got big delays there. West Waterman at Clarence Park, Goodwood Road near Francis Street, slow going. Unley Road at Unley, busy Dawes Road at Door Park, with a camera, Grenfell Road at Windvale. Fast food shouldn't slow you down. That's why Sombrero use only the freshest ingredients, which means it doesn't just taste good, it leaves you feeling good. Sombrero, feel good mix. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. He's one of Adelaide's favourite sons. He loves his Adelaide Crows, and each week he joins David and Will to share his footy tips and have a few laughs. Catch Fitzy thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and small soft drink. $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Today I'm talking to Tracy, who is one of Arbor Vitae's many happy customers. Hi, Tracy.
Hello, Lee.
Tracy, when did you start taking Arbor Vitae and what for?
I'm a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years, which is a common issue for my fellow bakers. They know how debilitating it is. A friend suggested I tried Arbor Vitae, and I can't believe how well it's worked for me.
And what benefits have you noticed about Arbor Vitae?
It was after my second bottle that I noticed the difference. My pain has all but disappeared. It's like a magic potion. I'm able to work with no pain. No stretch of the truth. It's worked so well for me.
Well, it's wonderful how much of a positive impact Arbor Vitae's had on your life. Thank you for your time, Tracy. Arbor Vitae is an anti-inflammatory supplement and it's now on sale at Chemist Warehouse, Australia's cheapest chemist. So now you know where to go for a great price. Chemist Warehouse. For more information, visit arborvitae.com.au. And remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Nobody knows paints like Crowies. And look, I should know because Stephen Rowe's not here. He was the master painter. But the thing about that is, a master painter, they probably know a fair bit about what's going on. It's people like me that actually really need Crowies. This is when you got to go in there, and they will give you all the answers. Now, you might be painting, staining, you might be, it's a new nursery if you've got twin grandchildren coming. It might be all these sorts of things in your life that might be happening. They'll help you with it. Now, it could be timber, metal, tile, steel, render, wallpaper, whatever it is you need. They will set you straight. They know what you're painting, how you're painting it, and preparation is the key. Crowies can help you. You'll love the prices too. And remember, Crowies only sell premium quality paint. Visit them at crowiespaint.com.au or find a store near you.
Eliminate the middleman with JB Caravans. JB Caravans are a factory direct caravan dealership, and they're having their grand opening sale next week from Thursday to Sunday. Check out full off-road hybrids from $79,990 and Aussie-made touring vans from $74,990, as well as incredible deals on off-road vans, Iveco motorhomes and cash and carry gear. Don't miss JB Caravans grand opening sale, July 25 to 28, 11 to 37 Port Wakefield Road, Jeps Cross, or visit jbcaravans.com.au.
Celebrate 60 years of The Australian, 60 years of thought-provoking journalism. Join the contest of ideas and enjoy the first 60 days of digital access for just $1. Subscribe today at theaustralian.com.au. New subscribers only. T's and C's apply.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 11 minutes to 6. We're at the Athelston Footy Club this evening. Great to see plenty of people coming out. The juniors are running out there at the moment with training on a Thursday night. It is team selection night too for every local club and for the AFL sides, and Crows and Port Adelaide's teams have just dropped. We'll get to them in a second, but right now let's get you off to the Port Adelaide locker room. Yeah, if you want to head along, Timmy G's quiz right now is the place to come. 8223 0055 will get you in the locker room for Saturday's game against the Tigers. The team for Port Adelaide first up. There are 4 changes, and Willie Rioli is one of them. He's back into the side after about, 5 or 6 weeks out now. Georgiades comes back in. Dylan Williams is into the side as well, and Asava Radigalia, that's also another big bolstering in for the side. The 4 outs, Todd Marshall has been dropped.
No, he hasn't.
No, he's been taken out of the side. Let's just say
he's
out.
injured. He's injured.
Kane Farrell, Jeremy Finlayson and Lockie Jones. So they are the 4 changes for Port Adelaide, Tim.
Yeah. So the Radigalia one, I would say that they're going to experiment with that forward. I think that instantly says that, because Mitch Georgiades will come back in, but I reckon they're going to go, okay, well, let's mix that up and put Radigalia forward. I reckon that'll happen. So
the reason I say Todd Marshall might have been dropped, there's nothing there to say he's injured. So usually there's brackets next to.
What they do, 1, 2, 3, injured.
Right, so that's how they go.
So Marshall, Farrell, Finlayson, all injured.
It says injured on the
Right, okay, that's good. I'm reading off the Port Adelaide website. The Crows side, just quickly, 1 change, Tex Walker out, managed, and the 1 in is Mitch Hinge.
So they've gone another defender. So that'll be interesting to see what they do, because that's essentially they've got 8 defenders there now.
Or will they use Mitch on a wing or something?
Possibly.
Or midfield rotation?
Yeah, I think he may push up to the wing. I reckon that's a good call, because I think Hugh Bond deserved another opportunity. I think he did a great job last week.
I think they were happy with him, yeah. What sort of opponent would he get against the Bombers?
I'll do a bit of research, Timmy, and get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. That's
what
part of your role.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Timmy's going to give away some locker room tickets. Let's get you off to the game.
Alrighty. Oh, jeez. There we go. The theme song. You can't go without it.
No.
Alrighty, Louise, all the best. This is 2 locker room tickets, Port v Richmond, Saturday night. The question is, Louise, and I will give you a clue. In Port Adelaide's 2020 preliminary final loss to Richmond, how many clearances did Port Adelaide have? Now, Louise, it's between 20 and 40.
I'll say 27.
27. Thank you, Louise. Unfortunately, it's incorrect. We'll go to Jordan at Seaford. G'day, Jordan. It is higher than 27 and lower than 40. Jordan?
36.
36. Thank you for that. All right, we will go to Brenton at Golden Grove. G'day, Brenton. Your clue now. It is higher than 27, lower than 36.
29.
29 is correct, Brenton. Congratulations, sir. You are a winner. And you're going to the locker room this Saturday night. Richmond is the game. It's going to be a continuous 5-hour beverage pack. It's Balfour's Footy Fair. You're going to love it. Who are you going to take with you, Brenton?
Oh, probably me mate Andrew, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How good's that? Does he know?
Yeah. I used to play for the Raggies, actually, so I was there at the Past Players last Saturday, so yeah.
Oh, there you go, Brent. Well, you're in sync, mate. We're at the home of the Raggies, Athelston Football Club, looking magnificent here, mate. So, well done. I think you're a worthy winner.
Thank you very much, Timmy. Cheers.
Well done, buddy. Brent from Golden Grove, an ex-Raggies player. How's that? That's magnificent. Gets the guess of 29 clearances. If anybody wants to know, Richmond had 41 that night. It's probably why we lost.
So the matchups for the opposition team selections coming in. Essendon have made 3 changes as well. They welcome back Todd Goldstein into the team, Jai Menzies and Jaden Laverty. Making way will be Nick Hind, who was sub last week, Peter Wright, as we said moments ago, and defender Dyson Heppel, one of their senior players. For Richmond, they've added 3 youngsters to its side. Seth Campbell comes in. Thompson Dow and Caleb Smith have been recalled. Going out of the team, Nick Vlosten, Jack Graham, and with a minor hip issue, and Tim Taranto, who suffered concussion, of course.
They are big outs.
Experienced players.
3 experienced players out.
And we just heard Teague talk about the influence of Nick Vlosten, and he's had a pretty good year.
Yes, he has.
And considering they've had a crash helmet on down there,
haven't they?
Richmond,
Oh, wow.
how it's been coming in. But I did a bit of work.
You did?
I reckon it'll be Guelphy. He's the
Guelphy.
one. So he's almost roughly around 2 goals a game. So it'll be as small. I don't think it would be anyone other than that, because they've sort of got mediums and talls.
Yes.
I reckon it'll be Guelphy. So tune in tomorrow night and see whether I'm right.
There we go. I knew you'd be right. You're a smart man, Campo. Great to have you on board. That's a beauty. You know, the first one you put up on the screen there, that was the 2 metre Peter out and the like. I'm wondering, are they actually playing a horses for courses type role here with the players and taking certain people out, including Heppel, and going, well, he probably hasn't got the speed perhaps needed or required?
Interesting question.
I'm just wondering whether they're adjusting.
Maybe. I mean, Laverde's he's essentially a back, and then they've gone a ruckman as well. So they're going to go both ruck. They're going to go Goldstein and Draper.
That's big.
So that's
Draper can go forward a little bit too, can't he? Draper.
Yeah, which I think will probably what happen. And then Menzies is he's been playing a fair bit of wing and sort of mid. Well, not so much mid, but wing and forward. So Hind's been the sub, right? Only had 8 disposals last week, and Heppel. He's probably he's had a pretty good year, but ultimately they might want a bit of speed out of that back half to see whether they can challenge Adelaide on the turnover game.
Fascinating, these selections as we head into another massive week of footy. Crows on Friday night against the Dons, and Richmond against Port Adelaide on Saturday night. It's 3 minutes to 6. We'll take a break for the 6 o'clock news, and then on the other side, here at the Athelston Footy Club, looking forward to catching up with Hannah Petty and the president of the club, Stephen Young.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Your local IGA's now got all you need for your baby, like Bepanthen Nappy Rash Ointment, trusted by mums to help both treat and prevent nappy rash, whilst providing gentle and soothing relief for your baby. IGA, where the little locals matter.
Emergencies don't recognise business hours. They can happen at any time and need professional attention in no time. With Adelaide's only 24-hour private emergency department, Calvary Adelaide provides expert treatment at any hour, on any day. You'll experience shorter wait times before receiving personalised care from experienced professionals. For emergency care 24/7, trust South Australia's newest state-of-the-art hospital, Calvary Adelaide. 120 Angus Street, Adelaide.
Beechwood Homes, Adelaide's leading bespoke home builder, celebrates 35 years. How good's that? And over that time, well, they've helped many hundreds of people realise the dream of building a beautiful home exactly how they envisaged it. And that's what's great about them. The wonderful thing about Beechwood is there's no set plans, no set rules, and it all starts with pen, paper, and your ideas. And that's great. Just sit down. They did it 35 years ago. They've been doing it. It's amazing. Actually, I got something in sync. I got married 35 years ago. There you go. How good's that? Under construction right now is another Beechwood Homes masterpiece. It's at Blackwood Park. Now, the breathtaking new display home will showcase Beechwood's dedication to cutting-edge design, craftsmanship, innovation, and understand what people really want in a home that they will call home. I love that. Truly call it their home. And if you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good, it's even better in a Beechwood home.
It's Milton from Vidulas Garden Centre. On July 28th, Vidulas Garden Centre is closing its doors for the final time. All stock must be cleared at up to 40% off, so come in and grab a bargain. Plants, pots, gifts, homewares and outdoor furniture. It's all got to go at up to 40% off. Vidulas Garden Centre's closing down sale. On now while stocks last, till July 28th. Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse.
Hi, Brady Bitt here from Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. I like that they're giving away 12 months of rego and stamp duty on all new cars. Not some, not just the red ones, all new Mazdas. With an offer like free rego and stamp duty, Mawson Lakes Mazda can't do it for long. It's got to end July 31st. Mawson Lakes Mazda, free rego and stamp duty on all new Mazdas. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloudy tonight, down to 8. Rain becoming windy tomorrow, 14. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel.
6 people have been injured in a 2-car crash on the Victor Harbour Road at Mount Jagged. The collision happened shortly before 3 this afternoon near the intersection of Mosquito Hill Road. The 3 people in each car have been taken to hospital. 1 person airlifted with life-threatening injuries. It's the second serious crash on the state's roads today. A car and truck hit head-on on the Riddick Highway at Joanna near Narracourt this morning. A 28-year-old woman and 4-year-old boy are fighting for their lives. The 59-year-old male truck driver sustained minor injuries. The Prime Minister is rejecting calls for the CFMEU to be deregistered. Independent administrators have been appointed to take control of the embattled union, but the coalition says that doesn't go far enough. They're instead calling for a return of the Australian Building and Construction Commission. But Anthony Albanese says the government is acting appropriately.
If you deregister a union, the union officials can stay in place in an unregulated way. We don't want that, and I'm surprised that Peter Dutton seems to want that to occur. What we want to do is make sure that any corrupt officials are removed.
The ALP National Executive has voted to suspend affiliation with the construction division of the CFMEU in 4 states, including SA. Donald Trump's newly announced running mate, J.D. Vance, took centre stage on day 3 of the National Republican Convention. He praised Trump's response to the attempt on his life, telling the faithful the 45th president is a man of many talents.
He can stand defiant against an assassin one moment and call for national healing the next. He is a beloved father and grandfather, and of course, a once-in-a-generation business leader.
Meantime, Joe Biden has pressed pause on campaigning after testing positive for COVID-19. He's experiencing mild symptoms and is isolating at home in Delaware. It's another blow for the embattled president as Democrat Senate leader Chuck Schumer joins growing calls for him to withdraw. And Carol Burnett has made Emmys history. At 91, she's become the oldest female comedy acting nominee for her performance in Palm Royale. The 76th Emmy Awards will be held in Los Angeles in September. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
From the crew at the Mosaic Hotel and ex-Golf West Lakes, come for a swing, stay for a meal.
Brisbane forward Charlie Cameron has had his 3-game ban for a dangerous tackle on West Coast Liam Duggan thrown out. Cameron originally appealed the suspension at the Tribunal on Tuesday before taking the matter to the AFL Appeal Board today. GWS forward Toby Bedford will be looking for a similar outcome as he heads to the Appeal Board for a tackle on Richmond's Tim Taranto. We won't see Taylor Walker in action tomorrow night for the Crows. He's being rested following 2 6-day breaks, with defender Mitch Hinge returning to the side to play Essendon at Marvel Stadium. Riley Thilthorpe returns to the starting 22 after a return to AFL level as the sub last week. Plenty of changes for Port ahead of Saturday night's clash with the Tigers at home. In, Willie Rioli, Mitch Georgiades, Dylan Williams and Esava Ratugolea. Todd Marshall, Kane Farrell and Jeremy Finlayson are injured. Charlie Dixon will make his 150th appearance in power colours. And Ange Postecoglou has played down speculation he could coach England in the wake of Gareth Southgate's resignation. The former Socceroos boss telling Sky Sports Tottenham remains his sole focus for now.
Mate, I'm in the middle of the pre-season, start of pre-season, big year. I'm the Tottenham manager and I've got nothing else but trying to bring success to this football club, and until I do that, there's no point in me thinking about anything else. I had a nap this afternoon, mate, so I've got no idea what's going on.
That's sport. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
A few crashes to look out for tonight. One at Glenelg East, Anzac Highway near Pine Avenue. Another one at Elizabeth, Main North Road near Midway Road. Got a breakdown getting cleared away at the moment at Norlunga Down, so only residual delays there. Main South Road at the Southern Expressway intersection. And a burst water main at Clarence Park, Goodwood Road near Francis Street. Shop Moods here at Woolworths. It tastes good and does good, with 100% of profits funding youth mental health programs. Mood Tea. All the profits go to charity, or the tea goes to you. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 8 tonight. Rain becoming windy for your Friday, 14. Saturday, showers and winds easing, 15. Sunday, a shower or two, 16. Right now, it's 11 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you. I'm Kate Collins. Tonight's headlines. 3 people are fighting for their lives after 2 separate horror highway crashes. Calls for free vaccinations for SA's young children as RSV cases surge. Plus, Joe Biden is battling COVID and his own party as he fights to stay in the US presidential race. And don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 Now as soon as you're home.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 7 minutes past 6 and we are live at the Athelston Footy Club, who, if you're watching on the Foodland live stream, have just... Timmy is the greatest catch of all time. We have dim sims and chips and squid and all sorts just popping up on our table right now. The amazing chefs and kitchen staff here at the Athelston Footy Club, they put on a good feed, don't they? Look at this.
Well, head chef, Rob, I think it's pronounced Mignoni.
Yes, that's Mignoni.
And he is absolutely killing it. He's just put the calamari and the spring rolls and everything in front of me, and I tried to put it on the live stream, and it's
you haven't even got it near your mouth yet. You've just gone in with your wrist.
Very untidy.
Well, it's a good catch.
Apologies.
It's time, though, to talk a little bit more seriously because it's a business end of the Super Netball competition. Our Thunderbirds minor premiers.
The Thunderbirds are going to the finals with their first minor premiership in 11 years. 7 from 7 at their fortress.
Outstanding performance. It's all going to script so far. We got the skipper on the line, Hannah Petty. Welcome and congratulations.
Hello, boys, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, look, Stephen's not with us tonight. We've got Scott Campo, who a keen follower of yours in particular.
Well, I spoke to Hannah over the summer when they brought in the trophy, when they won.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and Timmy and Rowie was, and Hannah, it was probably not a great memory for Hannah, but Rowie was going on about his
hernia.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you remember that, Hannah, do you remember that?
I do remember that. I've tried to block it out. So thanks for bringing it up.
Especially before
finally
five.
just got it out of her memory.
Oh dear, poor old Hannah. That's how mentally tough she is.
Yeah.
That's how mentally tough she is. And I'll tell you what, watching her play, and Hannah, you know I love seeing you play, and you know I'm a massive fan. But gee, you were all over that court once again, mate. I loved it. You're throwing yourself everywhere. The desperation that you show is just typifies your leadership.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely need to work on staying on my feet a bit more during the game. But, yeah, I've got the mentality of see ball, get ball, and I'll do anything for the team. And I know all my teammates will back me up. So that's what it takes to win a premiership, and hopefully we'll be doing that.
Well, I've been watching netball for a long, long time, Hannah. I've been with my darling wife. We've been married 35 years, but when she played, I go and watch every game and the like. And we watched the games together. And watching you play, I said, even though you're definitely either going to get a penalty or it's going to hit your hand and go out of bounds, what I said was it unnerves the opposition. Because if you just give them the easy take and you're not really putting a lot of pressure on, you go, oh, well, they're going to get that anyway. I reckon they know it's easy and then they know they can feed without pressure. Your actions create what I call a referred pressure in the mind.
Yeah, look, defensively, that's what we all pride ourselves on. If we can't get the intercept, how can we put as much pressure on that person so someone else can do it? And, luckily I have some pretty good defenders behind me who clean up and get 8 to 10 intercepts a game, and they're just remarkable with their footwork and their cleanness. But I like to pride myself, as do others, on the pressure all the way from goal shooter all the way through.
And Hannah, you obviously now moving into the finals. You're facing the Vixens, at the 36ers Arena on Saturday, 4:30, which is a great opportunity. I just wanted to touch. You've won 6 straight going into the finals, so that must give you confidence. But it's been record-breaking crowds, I believe, this year. So how does that help getting everyone down there to support you, particularly in the finals?
Oh, it definitely does help. It's like an extra player out on the court for us. We hear from other clubs that they hate coming to Adelaide and playing in front of the Pink Army, which just puts a smile on our faces. And unfortunately, we're not at the biggest stadium at the Entertainment Centre this weekend, but we know we'll pack out 36ers Arena, fill it with pink and make it continue the fortress that has become this year, and try and really put pressure on them early so that they can't get back into the game.
Well, and you are playing the Vixens. You lost in a nail-biter in that one. What have you learnt from that game, and have you played them since? No.
So we've played them twice this year. We've lost by 1 and won last time by 18 goals at home. So we'll probably go back to our memory bank. Yeah, we learned a lot. We'll go back to our memory bank to see what worked in that game and try and replicate it. We know they're going to come out with a different game plan and let the ball really fly, so we've got to be on the mark early to stop their attacking end and build that pressure.
Hey, Hannah, we've said that, all along we want to go to this script, and we know that the final, regardless, was going to be played in Adelaide. But now we've got the opportunity to have 2 finals in Adelaide and get that big one at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre come GF Day. The script just keeps rolling out nicely. This is another step. And I know it's not at the Entertainment Centre this time, but like you said, that atmosphere and that crowd and that Pink Army is still going to be there. And we just need, it's 2 more steps. That's all it is. And if you treat it like that, 2 more steps, we can win the crown at home.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what Tanya's been drilling into us this week and us as players is we want to stay in the moment. We like to dance in the pressure, as Tanya would say. It's been a little bit of a go-to this week, and we know that the pressure's on us, but the fact is we're so close, we don't want to give it up, and it's about playing each centre pass at a time, and that's as simple as what we want to make it. Yes, there's going to be a lot going on the outside. It sounds very cliche, but hopefully the script will write well for us, and we come away winning this weekend and looking forward to a home grand final.
Lauren, Frew, it looked like she rolled the right ankle. How's she recovering? And it's sort of through your changes in a lot earlier than normal, and everybody adjusted well. Again, Georgie Hoare just goes into goal attack, and I can't believe how well she shoots. She's amazing, but young Shez coming on as well. I love her big left-handed passes too. She's amazing. But how was that injury?
Yeah, her injury, she trained today, so she'll be back and fit and firing to go come the weekend. She's not going to get up for her final. No one ever does unless it's too serious. So the great thing is she's been training all this week. She feels fine, and the fact is anyone in our keen to step up and do a job. That's our great versatility and a great strength of ours. And no matter what's happening out on the court, we back each other in. But Lozzie will be fit and firing to go come Saturday.
The Vixens, do they have any, super shot specialists? I noticed some of the teams have real good 2-point shooters. What do they have in their goal attack and goal shooters?
Yeah, they have two shooters who can go out at any time and hit the 2-point shot. So that's a new element from last week. We really focused in on one shooter and put pressure on her, whereas this week we've got to flip over, play more one-on-one style in that 2-point time because they have two firing shooters that can do it. And ultimately, we want to try and stop the ball before it gets there, but defensively we'll have to change that up and hopefully they don't sink this weekend and we can get our hands to a couple.
Do you feel like, Hannah, that's been a nice rule that's been implemented? Do you think that's added to some excitement to the game as well?
I love it. I think the fact that in traditional netball, when you're 5 to 7 goals up, it's kind of game over almost. So the fact you can be 10 goals up and you're never safe in a game brings more excitement. It also brings a lot of skill on us players as well. How we play it tactically changes a lot. So I love that element of it. I love that no one's ever out of the game. And if you're up, you want to keep pushing forward. You don't want to slacken off because they'll be back within 2 before you know it.
Hey, Hannah, I've also noticed as the season's gone on, I suppose the understanding between you guys and Romelda Aiken-George has just got better and better, and the feeding in, it just looks like it's seamless now. And wow, it's so impressive, and she is so good underneath that net. It must be a nightmare for opposition teams trying to work out how to stop it.
Yeah, I would hate to come up defensively against her. I'm glad that I, one, don't have to go into the circle at training, but two, I'm on her team because she's a great outlet for us. You can know that you can put it anywhere in that circle and she's going to get it 95 times out of 100. And the fact is she is our target. She knows her game so well, so she's being able to develop everyone else around her and have that really good connection. And I think the biggest thing I've loved this year from Viv is the fact she's able to give feedback. She's got a wealth of experience and she's willing to share it. So we're trying to get every little bit of that out from her, as well as her bringing her weapons out onto the court and thinking as goals as possible.
And Hannah, you're a long way from retiring, but we see one of the great all-time players in Kim Ravelin's retired after her last game on the weekend. You would have obviously crossed paths with her with the national team.
Yeah, Kim, she's a legend of the sport. She's come out. She's going to be sad to see her go, actually, not out on there. Her fitness is phenomenal. It's someone I've always loved matching up against. She's a great human on and off the court, and yeah, she'll definitely be missed, but she's done an amazing career and something she should be very proud of.
Hannah, all the best. Keep this journey
luck.
going. This is the semi-final. You can have a week off if you win this and then go straight into the GF. So, look, keep that pressure up. Perhaps keep your feet now and again. But I love the pressure you put on, mate. You keep leading from the front. You're doing a great job, and let's finish it off.
Thanks, guys, and I'll take that into my goals this weekend to stay upright.
Hannah Petty, the Adelaide Thunderbirds captain, absolute champion, and
back to back.
Just a joy.
First time in 25 years, potentially it can happen.
She's a joy to talk to. You can see her on the court. Even when she starts off, she comes in at the first break. Her energy and enthusiasm is amazing. Anybody playing sport, you want to see what a great attitude is? Look at Hannah Petty.
She sets the tone for that team, no question. They are a team to get around. If you haven't been watching them so far during the season, this is a good time to jump right on the wagon of the Adelaide Thunderbirds. 17 minutes after 6. Very shortly, we'll chat to the president of the Atherstone Footy Club, which is where we are tonight here on the show.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Buying, selling, leasing or renting? When it comes to real estate, the right advice can save you thousands. Every Wednesday afternoon from 2 p.m, the expert team from Toop and Toop will join you for Real Estate Radio. You'll get the right advice from Adelaide's most awarded real estate firm, and for some individual advice, you can call the Real Estate Lounge from 2:30. Join me, Stacey Lee, and the expert team from Toop and Toop every Wednesday afternoon from 2 o'clock here on 1395 Adelaide's 5AA.
Feeling the calm of the ocean, making it to my daughter's wedding, lunch with the grandkids. This is palliative care. From the time you or a loved one is diagnosed with a life-limiting illness, Palliative Care Connect can provide you with information and links to palliative care and emotional support services across South Australia. Learn more at palliativecareconnect.com.au. Palliative Care Connect is supported by funding from the Australian Government Department of Health and Aged Care.
CMAC's clinical research is investigating a potential treatment to help millions of people affected by autoimmune conditions. But we can't do this alone. We need proud South Australians like you to join us and make a difference. If you're aged 18 to 55 and have no significant health concerns, you may be eligible. Once you complete the trial, you'll be paid for your time. Ready to help advance tomorrow's healthcare? Visit cmax.com.au today. That's cmax.com.au.
Now, if you're looking for top-notch industrial commercial roller doors, shutters, automatic pedestrian doors or automatic gates, Vulcan Doors are supreme at keeping out what you want out and keeping in what you want in. And Campo, it's worked beautifully because I've kept you in and I've got Rowie out.
Fair enough.
And it was all thanks to the Vulcan Doors. They are supreme at keeping them out. So if it does it for Rowie, it can do anything for you. Now, regardless of this, Vulcan Doors are the industrial and commercial roller door specialists. This is where you'll get friendly service and quality outcomes at a great price. Go and see them. They're great people. Just head to vulcandoors.com.au.
Suzuki is celebrating 40 years of Swift with an all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid. With enhanced styling, safety and technology, plus a very swift hybrid engine. It means that the fun can last forever. So book a test drive today in Australia's best value hybrid, the all-new Suzuki Swift Hybrid, for fun's sake.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
Harris Scarf Big Stock Take Sale is on now. Save 40 to 60% off quilts by Tontine Gainsborough and more, plus 40 to 60% off flannelette bed linen by Laura Ashley Linen House and more. Hurry, sale ends Sunday 21st of July. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
21 minutes after 6. We are live here at the Athelston Footy Club. Of course, it's Adelaide Footy League's 9 news at your club, so we love to get out and about to all the clubs where we can. And joining us, a special guest.
Absolutely. The president, El Presidente, as he told me to call him, is Steve Young of the Athelston Football Club, the home of the Raggies. And I was out here, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, about probably 3-4 years ago, just to watch an amateur final. And the club rooms didn't look like this, Steve. So congratulations on what been an incredible project that would have been. It's now, I'd imagine, a community club. But what a fit-out.
Yeah, Tim, it's fantastic. We have opposition clubs here and they go, geez, this is like Adelaide Oval. It's amazing. How's the view? And I've got to thank the local council and certainly the federal government who supported this with the great grant. And they've built something that's, in awe.
Going to be here for a long time, mate. A bit like yourself. Now, just tell us, when did you start as president, let alone be involved with the club?
I started as president in 2001, so this is my 23rd year as president of the footy club here. So,
do you think you'll get to like it?
Yeah, maybe we could build a bedroom here.
And you're telling me, you had a choice, I suppose. Your wife's involved.
Yes, my wife runs our canning.
Your daughter is involved.
My daughter plays senior women's footy, played all her junior footy, and is our under-10 girls coach.
Yeah, so the family is not putting in, not giving back.
And the son's the physio. He's the head trainer.
My son.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's one of our head trainers, and he's a qualified physio, and he puts in on the weekend as well for us.
Now, we saw Jay Cheedy. He came past and just said g'day, and on the rest of it, of course, he was coaching you guys in recent times and broke a big drought of an A-grade final.
2019. It brought a tear to my eye that year. It's been a long time since we'd actually won a flag, and Sheeds plays an important part of this footy club, and his kids are here, and his daughter is the lady delivering meals in the kitchen at the moment. So,
fantastic.
We love to keep people involved.
Yeah, don't you? And that's a great thing about football clubs, isn't it? I think the community aspect of it, and the Adelaide Footy League, you go through any grade, it doesn't matter where it is, people are invested, they're involved, and I think it gives you a sense of belonging, doesn't it?
Correct. And if you're having a down moment, come to the footy club.
Yeah.
You'll get back up and about again.
You'll have a laugh.
There's always someone to talk to when you come in.
You'll get a job. You'll get a task.
You get to turn a sausage if you want. Correct. There's always something to be done.
Well, and to have something like this too, though, that must be part of helping either recruitment of your senior players, but also the juniors coming through. I mean, everyone, particularly male and female now, hence why I guess the councils are investing, and you go around the state, there's a lot more people that need change rooms, separate change rooms, all those sort of things, but this is a wonderful recruitment thing,
correct.
isn't it?
Scott, the word destination club.
Yeah.
You become a destination club when you have these types of facilities. So for a long time, your kids came up and didn't even get to go into the club room, because in the old club room it was down below. We didn't even open on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Now we open on Sunday afternoon, and the parents can sit in here and watch the game.
Well, we can see right in front of us there's families sitting here, they're enjoying their meals, they're watching the training, which has been incredible. You've got an enormous amount of kids out there with Tom Wren, who will be out there doing his Channel 9 cross soon.
Swamped.
Which is great, and I think the Police Credit Union, they support it,
Yes.
and the club gets a $500 check. Is that right?
$500 check. Adelaide Footy League's done this promotion on a Thursday night, and they've done it really well over a number of years. And Police Credit Union chipping in with $500 is fantastic. SA Gourmet Meats, I think they threw in the barbecue meat, and some Villies donuts out there, I think, for the kids. So.
Well, tell us about your. You got Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen there. Rob, the head chef, I called him. He came out and brought this beautiful spread for us, but he looks after you.
You haven't missed either.
Yeah, so Rob Mignoni in the kitchen. A lot of people in the local area would know Rob Mignoni through his barbecue and catering business. He runs our kitchen here. We're open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday nights from 6 till 8. He does a fantastic job for us, and we love when people come in. You don't have to be a member of the footy club. You don't even have to like football. But come on down for a meal.
Great.
How's the outlook? It's fantastic.
Beautiful view.
So, Rob does a great job for us.
Oh, excellent, mate. And how's the club been going? I've noticed that you got a big game this week. I think you guys are fourth, playing Flinders Park fifth.
This is a key game. We're equal points, and fourth v fifth, and hopefully we lock it away. So,
Awesome, mate. Well, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. 23 years in the role of president.
Yep.
Put your head down. Let's get to 50.
All right. Just one last quick promotion. We got Auskick that starts here next Friday night for all new kids. So 8-week program from 4 till 5 p.m. on Friday, 26th of July. So all those kids, come on and join us through our Auskick program. We'd love to see you.
That's awesome, mate. Well done. You're doing a great job, Steve. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot, boys.
Steve Young, the president, absolute president of the Athelston Football Club, and it's been great. They've looked after us very well here tonight, and we thank you for that. Coming up next, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll have Robbo after that.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
5AA Nights with Leaf Forest.
The assassination attempt on the former President Donald Trump. It was horrific to watch on television. You can only imagine being there. My next guest, Don.